Hey everybody, and welcome to Free For All, your source for all things geek. I'm your host, Deep Dish. Joining me as always, Josh Barnett,
Vamp!
Chuck Nally,
I'm here.
and a sidekick whose name I've already forgotten.
Hey, it's me, Stuffed Crust.
Oh yeah, hey Stuffed Crust.
What's up, buddy?
Sorry, man.
Fighting the good fight against side salad with light dressing.
That's correct.
It's a light vinaigrette. Organic croutons.
Oh, fuck
Organic
you.
croutons.
Organic croutons. There is nothing organic or natural about croutons, but delicious.
Yeah, they're delicious.
But
Brittany
delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Brittany doesn't like croutons.
Divorce her early.
Hey, listen, I know we're several months out now from this marriage thing, but I'm need to go ahead and divorce
I'm
you.
going to go ahead and invoke the croutons clause.
Of all marriages?
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but it's actually at the bottom of the marriage certificate. Thou shalt not besmirch the good name of croutons.
Here's why I'm a little torn on it, though. Because she doesn't like
Natalie
croutons.
Imbruglia. You get all the extra croutons?
I get all the extra croutons. I double my crouton intake.
Does she like French bread? Because that's essentially all it is.
I mean, it's a bit more crunchy than French bread.
Do you guys like the
No, they cook it.
What?
Croutons.
I'm aware they cook croutons and French bread, but one is much more crunchy than the other.
No, I mean most croutons
Josh,
are created out of French bread.
Correct. But
So-
they are much more crunchy than French bread.
But they're the exact. They are the same thing.
Coach,
No,
coach,
they're not.
Coach. Sorry, man. We get it. We get it, Coach.
Raw
We
fish
do.
and cooked fish,
You're
two
right,
different
champ.
fucking
You're right,
things.
champ. No, they're not. They're still fish.
Just because you like one doesn't mean you definitely like the other. God
That's
damn
not
it!
what we're talking about.
It's still fish, man.
Whatever.
Do you guys
Dirt
like-
and mud are still dirt.
The deuce.
Do you like the little croutons that are like the little cubes instead of like the ones that are?
I like all croutons.
I don't
They're
discriminate.
pretty delicious.
The king of croutons is Ruby Tuesday's croutons, though.
Dude,
Ruby Tuesdays does have good
because they're
croutons.
slightly soft.
Yeah,
The dark
Yeah.
rye, basically.
yeah.
They're fucking delicious. You're right.
The end is rye. I got Josh with a pun.
Now I just want Rorschach running a salad bar. I used to work with a guy when I worked at a retirement community in the wait staff.
That's where I remember you from.
Yeah. He used to just on his lunch break go to the salad bar and get a bowl of croutons and a bowl of ranch, and that was just his meal.
What?
He would dip the croutons in the ranch and eat them like chips.
I will occasionally do that with Caesar dressing.
Caesar is great. Caesar is better than ranch
Yeah,
as
it
a
is.
dressing, but I feel like ranch is a better dip.
For me, Caesar all the way. I can totally eat.
You can't dump wings into some Caesar dressing.
Ooh, I've never tried, but that sounds kind of good.
That sounds horrifying. Also, Caesar dressing is made with anchovies, so
Yeah, but you can't taste them.
you know they're there.
I'll put it.
I mean, I'm fine with it. Do you not like Caesar dressing?
That's okay.
Man, I love Caesar.
It's my favorite
I
salad.
like
dressing.
Caesar salad with other dressings on it. Like I would prefer.
Just
What
like none of
about
the
the
just lettuce
oil-based,
and Parmesan cheese and
Caesar
croutons.
dressing?
No, hold the cheese.
Oh yeah,
Instead of the creamy, what about the oil-based Caesar dressing? That's more like Italian.
Nah,
Really?
I'd rather have.
I'd
Italian.
prefer the creamy.
I do too, but I also really like
Italian
all
is my
those
second
things.
favorite dressing, though.
Italian's good.
And by that I mean 2 of 2 on dressings I enjoy.
Man,
honey
you
mustard?
don't like just a good old oil and vinegar?
Nope.
Oh man, I love it.
Get
Oh,
out of
well,
here.
I put that on my Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't do oil on my
Good.
sandwiches anymore.
I just drench it.
I do
too
oil
much.
and no vinegar
This guy.
on my sandwiches from like Jersey Mike's or something.
Just oil?
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't make sense. Why? Do you like the taste of oil?
Yeah.
Or is
Clearly.
it just to help get it down the gullet?
Yeah, I mean, you eat faster that way too. Obviously, it's a more of an
Lube it
efficiency
up.
thing.
It's to help him eat like a pelican. Just what?
Give me the giant.
Jesus Christ. Let's talk about the deuce. Chuck.
Yes, sir.
Porn.
Yeah.
Maggie Gyllenhaal still fondling some dicks in this show?
She's not, but somebody.
She's
Method
directing
Man?
other ladies who are fondling dicks.
I mean, there is a lot of like pushing the boundaries of what you can show on TV. Like some girl has a devil's threesome, and she has clearly got a
So
dick
you
in her
mean the drinking
hand
game?
right next to her face. Like it is shown.
Oh yeah,
Man. I made a political joke, and you ignored it.
I didn't hear it. Man, you should fucking speak up.
I said the Devil's Threesome. I said the drinking game. I know it was Triangle from Kavanaugh, but still. It was there.
Yeah.
It was there. Also, it's depressing to
Also,
talk about him.
too soon.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Um,
Fuck that guy. And this country at this point.
all right.
We're screwed, man.
I think we'll be all right. But it's starting to sound a lot like old Rob Barnett over here.
Get ready for Roe v. Wade to get overturned. As long as that happens, who cares if he raped a woman?
Jesus Christ. All right, that's why we don't talk about politics. Let's go back to talk about what we normally do,
Sorry.
porn.
The Deuce. You're right.
This show, God, the show is so well made.
It is really well made.
Slow start to the season, but
I was going to say the same thing.
Slow start to season 1 too, though. To be honest,
That's
with you.
fair.
Any surprise headshots
No,
of the porn or non-porn variety?
no. The
was some
handling
face shots,
of,
but-
the handling of Dick is clearly the standout of the first episode.
What is it? What must it be like to be a Foley artist in that particular scenario?
Who?
The guy who does the sound effects.
Oh,
Sacco. He does Sacco.
got it. He just paints.
He once was thrown off Hell in a Cell.
Right. Okay, I got it.
Although,
Multiple personalities.
Although Mick Foley
Wrestle
including
Talk.
Dude Love.
Yeah,
Wrestle
wrestle talk. Yeah, wrestle talk. Take that, Evan. Have a kid more.
I don't think he wants to.
Yeah, I think he said
I think he'd rather do Wrestle Talk.
the amount of kid he wants.
It's a true story.
The show is good.
It
It's
is
a little
good.
slow. I'm of course going to go back to it, but it'll probably be a minute.
Yep.
Man, James Franco's really good. Maggie Gyllenhaal is she's a great actress, man. I don't care what she looks like or what you think she looks like. It's a shame that you don't like her. She's fucking good in this show, man. She's really good. She's a good actress.
She is very, very good.
I've never said she's not a good actress. I don't love her, but
obviously, she had to go through what she did in season 1 to like make what she's doing in season 2 make sense. But I very much like what she's doing in season 2 more.
Oh, that kid from Numbers got skinny again.
Yeah, he did.
Man, somebody must have squeezed him good.
They like literally talk about it in the show. Like there's a one-off line about like him continuing to eat healthy
Because
So
he
he stays skinny.
was, I swear to God, he was fatter than you.
take that, Trey.
And that kid from Numbers. But now he's the skinniest of
He
all of
is.
us.
Like
Oh man, I bet he's got just extra skin and stuff.
oh yeah.
Hey, man,
What?
it's not an easy thing to live with.
Okay, cheers. Cheers, coach. Want to jab at you?
Sorry, Chan. I know it wasn't. I'm just saying it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
The
sucks.
Deuce continues
Think
to be
about that,
solid
Christian Bale.
HBO television.
You're gonna need all the surgery.
He can afford it.
Yeah. They could fucking
That's
create him
fair.
an entire new body and transplant his brain
We
into
have the
it.
technology.
Indeed.
Oh, the $6 million $6 million bail. I fucked it up. Damn it.
Couple shows that I think I just watched that came back for their third and second seasons. Bull came back for its third season.
I can't believe you're still watching that show.
Yeah, it's really good.
Third?
Yeah.
Shit.
This
I
is
know,
the beginning
right?
of season 3.
Time
Oh
fucking
my-
flies. We've been
oh
doing
my-
this show for a
Um,
long time.
Nothing super significant to honestly to report.
I bet there was some
As
sort of
standard
story
what to
that felt
do.
procedurally generated.
Yeah, a little bit.
He did some courtroom stuff,
He did.
some analytics beforehand,
Indeed.
picked a jury.
Picked a mock jury, sir.
Smirked a little bit.
And then he does help pick the actual jury, too.
Used his super sultry voice.
Yeah, this particular episode was about a
Got a
lady.
little smart ass.
He did. He does. It's impressive.
And then
I feel like I've watched this show.
Yeah. All that checks
he
out.
CBS'd all over it.
He was helping defend a insurance company
Oh, okay.
from paying out basically to get a liver transplant for a lady who can only live for 2 years.
I miss that Haley Atwell show.
The Conviction?
No one misses that show.
I liked it.
It was
Aside
alright.
from the weird interstitials in between scenes where they put up weird 2D mats of New York.
Yeah,
and,
that was odd.
subways.
Also,
I like
you know what
that
else
show
is odd?
overall.
The word interstitial.
I use it a lot.
You do.
When talking about only conviction. No, it wasn't conviction. Conviction is something different.
It's Conviction.
I don't think it is.
Look it up.
I'm on it.
Also, The Good Doctor came back for season 2. They added a character late in season 1 that I really fucking don't like. She's
And
kind of a giant bitch.
Larger focus this season.
It is Conviction.
Not a larger, just I was kind of hoping they'd do away
heard
with
both
her, and they
ways.
didn't. So she's still around. Everything else is still pretty interesting. What's his face from West Wing that played like
There's a lot of guys.
Richard Schiff.
yeah.
I love Richard. That's right.
He
was
plays
in
like
the
the
show.
mentor
Yeah.
for
I love Richard Schiff.
for the main character.
Apparently,
And-
he is very difficult to work with.
I could believe it.
Interesting. He's also
a
in this
tiny Jew
show
man.
diagnosed with brain cancer at the end of the.
Oh, shit.
He's a brain surgeon.
That's what he gets.
Yeah. So irony.
Right.
But anyways, it's kind of they deal a lot with the fallout from that in this first episode.
I bet he doesn't.
And it is also pretty good. I will say that, and we'll talk about this later, of course, but it is now officially
Is that Asa
third
No.
on my medical procedural list.
Behind.
Oh, I know, I know,
behind Chicago
I know it's ahead of
Med
it.
and another one.
I would put it ahead of it as well.
It's easily the best of the three right
Oh,
now.
we'll talk about that later.
We would.
Chuck, The Gifted.
Yeah, man. Why are you looking at me?
Didn't you watch this?
No.
It's just you, man.
Man, fuck. All right, season 2 of The Gifted.
X-Men and shit.
We went over this.
Yeah, I know, but for some reason I remembered you saying you watched this, but I was clearly incorrect. The show also continues
Slaps.
to be really good. It does slap. God damn, why can't I remember everybody's name? Magneto's daughter,
Chuck.
Polaris. Yeah, Polaris
Or both ways.
is just about to have a baby. So some shit goes down with that.
I'm not a fan of what you just did.
Saying baby,
You didn't say baby.
baby.
Oh, baby, baby.
I'm a fan of what you just did.
Down, down, down.
Not a lot
baby.
happens in this first episode for the most part. But I'm very
Does that
excited
guy
to
still
watch
have
the show.
tap lights in his hand?
He does.
Okay.
Okay.
That checks out.
Heat stroke. What's that guy's name?
Eclipse.
Oh, that was close.
It's roughly the same thing.
Yeah, more or less.
Are the Struckers all still alive?
They are. I can't remember if his dad's still
Spoilers for
alive,
season 1.
but everybody
Mr.
else is.
Mr.
And
Strucker.
definitely Vampire Bill is getting some powers, and I'm real excited about that.
Who's Vampire Bill?
I forget his real name, but he played Vampire Bill in True Blood, and it's the dad on The Gifted.
Oh, okay, cool.
I forget the actor's name, but either way, he is apparently had powers like Repest his whole life.
Oh.
And he is starting to get that shit back together. So
Did they defeat the angry agent in the first season?
for the time being,
So he's still around.
yes,
Okay.
he does not show up in this season premiere.
Because
Though.
they fucked him over by making him forget that his kid died.
Correct.
That
I
was
remember
real
that.
fucked up.
It was real
It was
fucked up.
real rough to
and
watch.
real cool in that like that's definitely a storyline I've never fucking seen in a television show before.
Hey, your kid died. Live it again.
Yeah, like that's some brutal shit, man.
That's
And,
your
like,
own personal hell.
Brutal
like,
in a way that
general.
like you can totally do on network TV. It's not like gory or bloody
It's
or
emotionally
Yeah.
devastating.
It's one of the many things that I really thought was clever about the first season of The Gifted, and hopefully season 2 continues. I'm gonna shut up for a little bit. Lethal Weapon, go.
That's me. Okay, so we've gone over ad nauseum the shit show that is
Dead Man
what
Walking,
was
the
going
show.
around in regards to Lethal Weapon last year. Clint Crawford has some clear anger management issues. They booted him off the show. They brought in Sean William Scott. We talked about that in a different hour. The biggest question about that, and he is a totally different character. He is
his brother, right?
Nope. He's
Oh.
not related to or anything. The biggest thing at the end of last season was Riggs gets shot in the chest right over the grave of his wife. And he's sitting there bleeding.
The question
and
is
you
whether
could
he
hear
would never die.
you could hear the sirens come. Well, they show him getting wheeled into the hospital, and then 5 seconds later the doctor comes out and says he didn't make it. So they didn't give him the dignity of going off into the sunset with his girlfriend or anything. They said, "Fuck you, you're dead now.
But
You can never come back."
You had to expect. Was his girlfriend at that point the girl with the kid, or
Yeah,
the
they were going to
FBI
run off to
agent?
Texas
Okay.
and like live their life.
or was she DEA, the blonde girl?
I think it was DEACI. So who cares?
he's
They
not-
could have just been like, okay, you know what? We'll write you out to where you know, your character's not dead forever.
They were not going to give that man any dignity.
And it turns out that yeah, he might have been anger management, you know, whatever. But also Damon Wayans like wants to fucking kill this show, and I don't know why.
It really.
I'm sure he
depresses me.
blew it up a little bit more than what needed to be so he could get that guy fired. But they clearly didn't get along off screen.
And now he's gone too. So what does it really matter?
Nothing.
Like this show is they either have
However,
to full reboot it.
Stifler is awesome. I'm hoping that the show picks up numbers. Damon Wayans gets replaced by like a younger black kid, and they have a new like Lethal Weapon
The new
something
class.
or yes.
Oh my God, call it that. That would be amazing.
Leo gets in this at all yet?
Not yet. I've only watched the first 2 episodes.
I love him as Leo Getz.
They'll bring him back in before the end of the season. They have to, and then that chemistry. So Sean William Scott plays an ex-CIA operative that is kind of he's not like Riggs. He's not over the top, but he's got some PTSD stuff for sure. But
So
he is a
that
nice
angle.
smart aleck. He's
Okay.
not mean. He's not a drunk. He's not doing any of that Riggs stuff. Like him and Murtaugh, of course, don't get along at first, but the second episode, they're getting more back into it, and they can trust each other. It's the whole kind of song and dance. They're not doing anything different, but the chemistry's still good. And Sean William Scott's like, he's charming, man. He just
I've
really
always
is.
liked him. I never saw Bulletproof Monk though, so
I didn't either.
that was his movie with Chow Yun-Fat or Donnie Yen, one of the two.
Something like that. He was in God, what was that hockey movie? Hooligans or
No, the Goon.
Goon?
It was
Goon. Yeah, that's well received. I haven't seen that either, but
I liked The Rundown.
The Rundown is an awesome movie. He plays a very
It is.
similar character to
I mean,
that particular guy.
all of his characters are a variation of Stifler, which is a great character. I love
he's
the
not.
American Pie
He's not
movies.
nearly as like dude bro.
Really? Okay.
Prostate massage.
Also, really liked Role Models with him and Paul Rudd.
He's also kind of similar to that role models
Okay.
character as well. But anyway, I like the show. It's almost like watching a whole new show.
Which, I mean, maybe they can salvage it. It
It's
really
kind of
wouldn't
it
be
was kind of
Lethal
a
Weapon at
dick
this
move
point, but
by Fox to kill off that guy just because they just like take your ball and go home kind of style. But
yeah, but
be
I
an
mean,
adult, Fox. Because that's what your news programs are want to do.
be an adult. Yeah, okay.
All right. So Lethal Weapon. We'll talk about that again, I'm sure, at the end of the
At the end of the first 13 episodes.
indeed.
Or as many as it gets.
The Chicago shows are back. I feel like we've already talked a bunch, so we won't spend too much time on that, other than say that Med is probably number 3 on the medical procedurals now.
So it's Med, Police, Fire.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Fire is far and away the best. PD's still pretty good, and then Med is not bad. It's just there's like 2 characters in that show that I fucking hate. Like every time they're on screen, Brittany gets annoyed with me because I'm just complaining the entire time they're on screen.
I feel like that's kind of the curse of the procedural, though.
Yeah, that definitely happens with a lot. Like, so that may be one of the reasons why I like Fire so much still. We're in season 7 of Chicago Fire.
Which is impressive.
It is. That show still does crazy numbers. But also, like, I love every last character on that fucking show. Now, there are some characters, like, this season in Fire, they introduced, like a fire commissioner that's kind of, like, shitty and political and, like, trying to take down one of the fire chiefs or whatever. That's real good.
Is
but
it wrong that I had Michael Chiklis in mind for that role when you said it?
no, but it's not him. But
Or
I
the-
would be
The guy who played
super happy if it was.
the other guy who's very similar to him, whose name I can't remember, who played Dean on Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know that guy's name either. But
Oh.
either way, it's neither of those people. It's a guy that you would definitely recognize, but again, don't remember the name. Either way, though, those guys are like clearly meant to be disliked. Like whereas on Med, these
It's
2
characters
girls that
you're
I don't
supposed
like.
to
That
enjoy.
yeah, you're
It's what we
Supposed
like
to-
to call the Dr. Chase effect. Or not Dr. Chase, I'm sorry.
Dean Norris.
speaking
Dean
of
Norris,
Chicago
I was
Fire.
No, yeah, Dr. Chase is the good one from House. The other one, what is her name?
I don't know.
Fuck.
From House.
Yeah.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I'm on it.
Yeah, the girl who wasn't.
With the big nose?
I don't know.
That's what Chuck
The
remembers.
girl on that show who wasn't Cuddy or
While
or
he's
Olivia
thinking
Wilde.
Cuddy's who he's thinking has a big nose. I think.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
But
While
also on the West Wing.
while he's
Bonnie Bernstein. No, not Bonnie Bernstein.
while he's checking that out, let's talk about South Park, Josh.
Yeah,
And Chuck-
I've watched the first 2 episodes of this.
I've only watched the first.
So the first episode goes very dark
Yeah, so they take on school shootings.
in a very South Parkian way.
Yeah,
Um,
basically just happens, and everyone's so desensitized to it they just don't fucking pay attention.
Not dissimilar to the way half of the country reacts.
Yeah,
But yeah, South Park has never been known for its subtlety.
no,
It was less funny in its debut than maybe you would expect from South Park, and more dark.
yeah,
Celia
more poignant.
Ward, is that who you're talking about?
No, she was also in 2009 Star Trek. She played Kirk's father. Or Kirk's mother, sorry.
Whoa.
Damn,
What
that is a
range?
versatile actress.
She was married to Chase. For some reason, like it's a very recognizable. She's like in top 3 billing.
I know who you're talking about, and I am with you.
Or not top 3 because Wilson was there.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
She was
Bobby Bergstrom? No. Jennifer Morrison. Olivia
Jennifer
Wilde.
Morrison is who we're talking about.
No, I don't know. Dr.
Fuck that
Allison
bitch.
Cameron.
I'm with you. She was
Cameron.
awful
Cameron.
in House.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, she was a
And in everything
character
else
that you're
she's been
supposed
in.
to enjoy but hate.
Yeah.
Anyway, so South Park, maybe the funniest and most depressing scene in the premiere was the like second or third time when it's Cartman and Token sitting in Mr. Mackey's office with PC Principal there talking to him, or maybe it's the PC Principal's office, and another school shooting happens, and it's Mr. Mackey who handles it that time, and he goes out into the hallway, and just them showing him trying to contain the madness of yet another shooting while they have this very bland conversation about Cartman thinking Token is stopping him from cheating on him because he didn't like Black Panther. Which was the funniest part of the episode for sure.
Oh, easily.
But I mean, I like that they're still not. Obviously, now they're probably more emboldened by 22 years into this game or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and given the current political climate and all that.
they can take on any subject they want. The second episode is taking on the Catholic Church and priest molestation.
Oh, Jesus.
In which. So, slight
Or not.
spoilers, but basically the conceit of the episode is everybody in South Park loves going to church on Sunday, but it's they always talk about it like we feel so much better when we leave, right? We feel so much better. We love it, and it's because they spend the entire service making fun of priest molesting kids jokes.
Jesus.
So like anytime he's reading from scripture, they make jokes, and so he gets down and decides to like close church down, and Butters becomes his friend, and like. Obviously, that leads to everybody making assumptions about the church and
Butters.
the local diocese sending 3 cleaners out to basically clean up every aspect of Come from South Park.
Jesus Christ.
It's real rough, but it's more funny than the first episode.
All right.
was.
I liked the first episode,
I
but
did too.
you're right. It was definitely more topical than funny.
It was tough to watch because, I mean,
it's
half
just
our country still like has
it's
their priorities not in line with what I believe in. So it's tough to watch because it's poking fun at that aspect.
Yeah, and you just again like while I can sit back and laugh at it because in real life I'm horrified by
you
the
have
shootings.
To laugh at
There
it.
are people who aren't necessarily laughing at it, but are clearly not super concerned about it either.
Yeah,
and that when you think about that, it kind of bums you out.
Randy trying to like signal people down to not trigger Sharon's menopause is what he
Yeah.
thought it was. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
That part was really funny. This is like, he goes, it's like a super period that lasts 2 years. Oh my God.
And like when she's talking to a therapist and he just goes like, balls, no balls, balls, flag, no. Balls, no. Like him trying to interpret what Randy's doing through the window. Like Randy is still the best character on this show.
yeah.
Easily.
I will never not watch South Park as long as it exists on TV.
Yeah, I definitely don't have the affection for it that I think you and Evan do, but I do very much enjoy it.
Yeah,
Brittany
it was
likes
one
it
of those
too,
like
so.
formative shows when I was like
Yeah.
in high school. Like I had to watch it every week.
Oh,
so.
shit. I've totally forgot. I watched the season premiere of The Simpsons.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Tell me about it.
I mean, it's still funny. It's not as
Season
funny
57 now?
as season 30, and
Oh man, it's a big one.
it is a big one.
Was
And
I
actually,
really 5 when that show came out? It's not 30 years.
Yeah.
Is it?
1988.
God,
Yeah.
my back hurts.
So they started off with pretty much the coolest intro of all time. They did like 30 years of The Simpsons. It was a countdown from 30, but they did like a scene from each
Just one each
season, yes.
Okay.
So like the one that they did that was wound up being number 1 was them picking up Santa's Little Helper from the track.
You mean Santos L. Halper?
Santos L. Helper, yes, that was the credit card.
Man, I do really enjoy The Simpsons.
And it's funny. This one had Gal Gadot on it. So
actually,
yeah,
nice.
I mean, the
Good
Simpsons.
for them,
They'll
man.
get
They're
whoever
they're pulling people that you would never expect.
they'll get whoever they need to get.
Did they get Green Day for the movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
they
did.
also had the entire cast of NSYNC for their boy band episode.
Did they?
Yes.
Nice.
And all that Justin Timberlake ever said was "word."
Man, it's still a fun
Anyway,
show.
that show's funny. I'm glad that I watched it, and it was the 30-year countdown was like a super poignant, like kind of
I'll
special.
check
moment
that out
for
at
me.
least.
Was
It was cool. It was
That's
very
cool.
was the Santa's Little Helper episode the same episode in which Bart wanted the Mortal Kombat style video game?
No, Santos El Hamper was the one where he applied for a credit card and put a bunch of stuff on his credit card, including a very special dog that was like that
Yeah,
took
I mean,
out his
the-
own.
Yeah, but I mean
shits
the
and
the
stuff.
first Santa's Little Helper episode. I
No.
thought it was
No,
him
no.
wanting that game, and then he got okay.
No,
When
you
he-
talking about when he stole?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Was it the touch of death or whatever?
Yeah, no.
God, I do
No.
love old Simpsons. Ugh, sorry.
You're good. While we're on the subject of animated television shows,
Mhm.
Chuck, let's talk about Bob's Burgers.
Cut.
Store puns and shit.
Yes, store puns. No one reacted to that when I did it in the main group. I usually just do it to you guys on the free for all message group, but I decided to do it to everyone, and
And
just
nobody cared.
no one knew what was going on.
Oh shit! I forgot what the burger was. It had something to do with dragon fruit. Shit.
I can't remember now either.
Anyway,
I think I now appreciate the store next door that always goes out of business more than any other of the like.
dude, I don't know,
recurring
man.
puns.
The Terminator, or pest exterminators, they're always good.
Oh, they're always great. So are the burgers of the day, but
Yeah.
So, question for you,
yes.
because you have had this for at least 3 years now.
Uh-huh.
How many burgers have you cooked out of the Bob's Burgers book?
0.
One.
Okay, which one
That's
did you
a
do?
lie.
Whatever the first one is, I don't remember now. It was like, I don't know, maybe a year after we got it.
Okay.
Right after we moved into the new apartment, or pretty soon after we moved into the new apartment.
Oh, so I didn't get to enjoy those burgers.
Yeah, that's. I don't want you to eat Bob's Burgers. You don't like Bob's Burgers.
Maybe it made me like the show.
No.
There's
I
no
know
way
you.
that happens.
That's true.
The first episode of this new season 8 or 9.
Is it really?
I think it's 8.
I'm pretty sure it's 8.
Yeah, it's been around for a while, man.
Wow.
And it will continue to keep going, I think.
Yep, that's
That
one of the
hurts more
TV
now.
Guide Save Our Shows that lasted for a long time.
First
Yep.
season, they were worried?
It was a Save Our Show from the one the TV Guide used to do an SOS,
Yeah.
and it was like save the show, and like people like really got behind it, and they got a second season, and it hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
Hey, TV Guide.
Can't stop.
What
Won't
the
go.
fuck about forever, yo?
Nah.
TV Guide's not a thing anymore, Josh.
Some guy who used to write for them is watching.
Probably.
Um,
We have thousands and thousands of listeners.
This first episode
He's
was
voting in the FFA poll right now.
mostly focused on Tina, to no one's surprise.
That's
She's
the daughter?
yeah, she's the oldest daughter.
You idiot!
I'm trying to be engaged, Chuck.
She runs into a boy
to
outside
the
of the
ship.
restaurant who is going to like an American Idol style competition that's only for boys. And Tina's a bit boy crazy, is one of the kind of the running bits. So she goes to like find this guy at this boy competition dressed as a boy, and every guy that she runs into, she has like a 2-minute long musical fantasy
It's
about them.
incredible.
It's so good.
I thought this was going the direction of, what's that 80s movie? Was it Just One of the Guys?
yeah.
I thought it was going in that direction.
No,
It is
it's-
a musical and starring Tina.
It's so good because she'll just bump into somebody and I'm sorry.
Uh.
And then ring, like there's a rap. There's like a La La Land style.
It's like an
scene.
80s one.
Yeah,
It's so fucking good, man.
It's
God, I love that
amazing.
show.
I'm happy for you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man.
You've gotten
Coach.
8 seasons.
God,
Coach.
it's so
You're welcome,
good.
champ.
I'll
Oh,
just
sorry,
randomly
sorry.
rewatch episodes sometimes.
Season
of that
9.
show.
9 is the season.
Okay, it is 9.
It is 9.
I knew it was one or the other.
So wait, was Bob's Burgers out before I moved here?
I don't know.
When was the first season?
I don't know.
9 years ago?
I don't think it was.
8 years ago, I guess, since the season hasn't started.
Oh shit, that's funny, Trey.
Look up
Thanks.
Bob's Burgers premiered.
Hey, do you want to talk about Man in the High Castle now or just when you finish it?
No, I can talk a little bit about it now.
Go.
So I know I prefaced this with saying before the show,
You don't remember anything?
Man in the High Castle and Mr. Robot are an enigma for me. When the new season starts, I don't remember jack shit about what happened in the previous X amount of years. But I love those shows so much, and this show, like this season, is absolutely no exception. Man in the High Castle is an Amazon Prime show. It is an alternate history where Japan and Germany won World War II essentially and took over the United States. They split it down the middle. Japan covering the West Coast, basically California, Oregon, and Washington. There is a dead zone in the middle, and then the eastern and midwestern parts of the United States are all covered by Germany. It's just an incredibly well-made show. There's an alternate, like, sci-fi story to this, in which obviously the man in the high castle is somebody who is distributing or trying to distribute these celluloid films of a version of the war in which we won. So the version that we actually know as history. This show starts with the main character Juliana, who has been the main character throughout the first few seasons, with the man in the high castle himself, who is, God, I can't remember the actor's name, the guy who played Milton in Office Space.
I know you're talking
Stephen Root.
Root. That I couldn't remember his last name. He plays the man in the high castle. Spoilers for season 1 a couple years ago, but
Great, now I can't go watch that show.
so basically they're starting to merge these realities in small pieces. Juliana's sister, who died in the season's world, has lived in the other, and Juliana herself died in the other world, and they've brought Trudy, her sister, over. So they're bringing together these two characters. They are starting to, at least in some aspect, merge the worlds, and it's really, as of right now, for this season, more a Nazi political drama, in a way. The majority of what happens in this show focuses on power moves within the Nazi party. So Rufus Sewell, who is kind of a
Does he still have a weird eye?
I mean, he's always going to have that weird eye. It's not going anywhere.
Did he go to the same store that Forrest Whitaker did?
That's a horrible store. You fucked up by walking in there. You would know him as maybe the bad guy from A Knight's Tale.
Or the good guy from Dark City?
He was in Dark City. You are right about that.
It's a good movie.
His son in the last few episodes of the previous season revealed to the Nazi party that he had a debilitating illness that he could have lived from, but because of the perfection of the Aryan race, it's against the law for him to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically sacrificed himself and gave himself up to the Nazi regime, who killed him. So this particular episode focuses very heavily on him and his wife dealing with the fact that their eldest son, their only son, has made the sacrifice, has passed at the hand of the party that they support, and what they're doing in preparation for his essential ceremony for his death. They name like the high school after him, essentially. You can see the seeds of him maybe trying to be turned against the Nazi party a little bit. It's intriguing at this point without really knowing where the direction is heading. I like that there's a history in all of these tapes of the alternate version of the war that features the Juliana character. When she was a child, she was celebrating the victory of the U.S. in those videos. In literally every single film, she exists in some fashion. So she is obviously the central point of the story. But I literally have no idea where the story is going. But I truly, truly enjoy watching it week to week.
Cool.
Indeed.
Cool. So what's funnier? The Dragon Fruit Me to Hell burger? Flea's Just Not That Into You? Pest Control? Or Paul's Risers, Bleachers, Platforms, and Stages?
Number 3.
No, man, Flea's just not that into you. I don't get the first one. Say it again.
Dragging me to hell. Dragon Fruit you to hell.
Oh, see, it's
a little bit of a
rough.
stretch.
It's a little rough.
Oh, I like it.
Like How to Train Your Dragon Fruit, maybe.
Burger? How to Train Your Dragon Fruit burger?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that.
I mean, they got to use dragon fruit again. Who says they haven't done it already before?
Dragon Fruit Heart Burger.
Dragon Heart?
I love Dragon Heart. Unapologetically.
All right,
You
so it's
should
just in the show there.
apologize.
Fuck you. That
We have no
movie is
business
good.
talking about entertainment.
David Thewlis is great as the evil king in that movie.
Let's talk about Big Mouth.
Yes. Like
I've just watched the first episode.
I've only watched about 5 minutes of the second episode. Beyond that, so I
for
haven't
those
watched the whole thing.
unfamiliar, this is a animated show on Netflix that basically deals with
Puberty.
young prepubescent boys basically hitting puberty
So
and girls.
I did a
and-
very unJosh thing with this.
Yeah.
I wanted to continue, like, after I finished the first episode. It
Right.
auto-played the second episode, and I got about 5 minutes in, and I was like, I could literally sit here all day long and watch this whole season, but I was like, I've got to watch other TV, so I backed out.
I'm impressed.
I am very impressed with myself, because after just the first episode, I wanted nothing more than to watch the entire season.
You can do that tomorrow.
I want to.
You can. Also, I still really like this. I did not think this was as funny as
man.
anything in the first season.
I also agree with that.
Really?
Now the
it's really
second
funny,
episode,
and I'm
did you
excited
guys
to
get
watch
to
more.
the land of boobs or the woman locker room song?
In the
Not yet.
second episode?
Did you get? Was
No,
that
I
in the
only
first
watched
episode?
just the first, yeah.
Okay, never mind. Episode 2 is fucking great.
Okay.
Most reviews have
Good.
said it's even better now in the second
Yeah,
season.
that's not my review.
I am simply saying.
Actually,
as a
most
season,
of these reviews.
Have you watched the whole season? Is what I'm saying.
Oh, the whole season.
Yeah.
I
No,
gotcha.
not just episode 1. I don't think that this hits the peak of season 1.
Did
I
he
think-
lose one of his pubes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Those
but-
pubes are fucking hilarious.
One of them is Kenneth from 30 Rock.
Yep.
And the other one is from The Office. Why can't I remember his name? The
The
black guy.
white? Black guy?
Yeah. David Robinson. Not David Robinson. Craig Robinson.
The Admiral?
Yeah, one of them is David Robinson.
He's
The
throwing
other one is
hook shots
Tim
on comedy,
Duncan.
bitch.
And Kawhi Leonard is the secret third one. You'll get to him eventually. No, yeah, Craig Robinson is the other one.
Okay.
And I like that they brought back the ghost of Duke Ellington.
God, he's
Jordan
funny.
Peele. Like, I
really hope the ghost of Aretha Franklin shows up
That would be
in this season.
incredible.
She probably will.
Man, that'd be great.
Like, I don't know. I really like it. I think the coach is better in parts in this first episode than he is in a lot of the first season. I like
He just kind of bums me out, man.
Yeah, man, he's a 35-year-old man baby who's never seen a naked woman, who actually thinks that
He's lactose intolerant.
Yeah, he is.
he keeps puking
That
too.
part was really funny.
Man, this is funny. But he thinks that a young boy tucking his dick between his legs, holding 2 basketballs, is an actual naked lady. It's really funny to me. Nick Kroll is really funny in that role.
Yeah, he is. Man, that show. And again, I don't want it to sound like I didn't like the episode. It was really fucking funny. It's just didn't like you said hit the kind of the peaks of season
yeah, it's
1.
definitely not like it. This wouldn't be a top 5 episode of season 1, but
Yeah.
I think it would be right up there with like any episode of season 1. Otherwise, like I think it
It's still
follows
really
the
good.
same feeling and pattern, but yeah, maybe doesn't hit the highs of the first season.
Episode 2 is.
I'm
it's
really excited. to watch it.
Classic. It was
Yeah, I'm
hard for me
excited
to
to
stop
watch it, too.
watching that last night.
Yeah, I really wanted to just keep watching it, but I was like,
BoJack
I've gotta
first, but
watch.
then Big Mouth.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, Big Mouth. If you're not watching it, you should.
You should absolutely.
All right.
It's the most honest and funny coming of age like puberty.
We're gonna go through some keeper cut shows. These are new shows premiering
Evans,
for the first time.
Got
Okay.
Evan's list.
First up, very quickly, the Norm Macdonald Show.
Cut.
Cut indeed. Man, I've never been more bored than listening to David Spade talk about his first appearance on Johnny Carson.
Like-
Okie doke. Keep. I'm kidding. It's one of the. It's
Yeah, no one.
obviously up
no
for the
one
chosen.
believes you on that.
It's obviously up for.
Worst show?
The Chosens.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's Norm Macdonald is barely. We saw only like 5 minutes of the first episode.
It gotta
Trey
get
and I.
so
Yeah.
much worse. You guys should watch it just for the absolute
Yeah.
monkey feces fight.
Does he
that-
become more involved in the show later on? Because in the first,
Yeah, but that's bad.
I know.
He's awful
in the
this
first
show.
5 minutes, he says like 2 words. He's like, "You're David Spade, right?
Oh my god, it's so
You're
bad.
on Carson," and then just lets David Spade rant about being on Carson.
Evan says the Norm Macdonald Show hard cut. This show is so bad.
It's awful.
Speaking of shows that aren't very good, let's talk about Maniac.
No,
Evan
I wish I had
disagrees.
watched it.
Evan keeps. You didn't watch any of it?
I told you this. You guys told me I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, we just talked about
that's
this show.
right.
Jesus.
That's right. Sorry, my bad. My bad, deep dish.
It's all right.
Please don't garlic knot me.
I mean, maybe later
You're okay.
if I'm in the mood.
Ooh. Thanks, buddy. Thanks,
Who am I kidding? I'm always in the mood for garlic nuts.
This show's got the best of both worlds. It's both boring and confusing.
Yeah, man. So,
Skinny Jonah Hill. Oh, sorry, semi-skinny Jonah Hill with a mullet is incredibly.
yeah, and Emma Stone, which the cast had me super excited.
The love of your life, Emma Stone.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Man, this show though, I agree with you. It is equal parts completely fucking boring and super confusing.
Neither of you watched beyond the first episode, right?
No.
I watched
won't.
the second episode.
Okay,
Watch
sorry.
I did.
So it doesn't get better.
No.
Okay, just want to make sure.
And I've heard from a lot of critics that it is kind of confusing and
Tori and
hard to follow.
Evan are the two that love it, right? Or is it Boone?
This is an absolute keep for Evan.
I don't remember if it was Boone or Tori. Either way, they're wrong.
Somebody was talking in the chat with him the other day about it, and I was surprised.
Yeah,
Man, I couldn't.
Cut.
I was really excited for it, but yeah, I'm a hard cut on that show. It's well made. It's just I don't give a shit.
I'm a hard DNP on this one. Did not participate.
Thanks for spelling that out.
You're welcome. Coach has got to give it out there to the press.
Another new Netflix show that I did really love though, The Good Cop.
You did too, right?
I love this show.
Starring one Josh Groban.
Josh Groban. As one Alan.
Did you both only watch the first episode?
Yes.
I did, yeah.
Me as well. Okay. So this is a very
Angela.
This is a confusing show for me because half of this show I really, really enjoy. I like Josh Groban as the straight-laced cop. I like him as this kind of like boy wonder in a way in terms of the police department. He is. You never doubt that he's going to have the answer in the long run, right? But the stuff with his dad didn't feel good or earned to me in any way. I didn't feel like they had great chemistry personally. I feel like it was just Tony Danza hamming it up on screen, which
Tony Hamza.
Indeed. Some people, I'm sure, really, really enjoy that. I enjoyed my episodes of Who's the Boss back in the day.
Who didn't?
Right? Yeah. I mean, Angela and Mona and Sam and all that, right? But
remember the episode where he saw her naked coming out of the shower?
I do.
That was the best.
Formidable episode.
Remember when Mona was a whore?
Always? Yes.
Whore.
But yeah, the interplay between the two of them, like, I remember this preview being more along the lines of, like, almost like a, maybe I'm wrong, but like a Castle-esque story in terms of, like, yeah, his dad's an ex-cop and an ex-con, and, like, he actually gets brought in to participate in
I can see that happening later in the show.
Okay. Because this first episode very much focused on trying to clear his dad's name.
Yeah.
And I liked the mystery. I completely picked it out early in terms of what had happened. Not just, like, who it was, but what had happened.
Right.
Like, the entire...
I didn't,
spoilers, but, like, the entire time I was like, it's the shooting range. Shooting range. Shooting range. Shooting range. There's a reason they showed it at the very beginning of the episode as a shooting range.
I didn't. I wasn't even paying attention. I thought it was a pretty clever way that I hadn't seen in a show before.
It was definitely unique. And I will
it's like something that would happen on Monk.
This is a tentative, like, short leash keep for me. I like at least half of the show, so I'm going to give it a shot. I like also the interplay between Josh Groban and the other...
Tony Hamza.
No, the other... the
Angela.
PI. Yeah. Carla, or whatever her name is.
Rosie Perez?
Not... Yes. Rosie
Gugino.
Perez. Yes.
Both
of them.
She got
Carla
nice rack.
Gugino, Rosie Perez. She's got a very confusing name because she's neither of those two people.
I'd do it.
Okay, that's fair.
Evan says cut, but I liked it.
This is a...
He'd rather keep Maniac.
Yeah, this is a definite keep for me.
Yeah, me too. Keep.
Tentative keep for me.
Tender keep?
Tentative.
Oh.
Next up, new CBS joint, Magnum PI.
Didn't watch.
I did.
What do you think, Chuck?
Cut.
I mean, kind of sloppy. Incredibly, like, trying too hard to bring back some nostalgia.
Yeah.
Fucking Halo drop out of nowhere for some reason.
How charming is Jay Hernandez?
Not very.
Okay.
I think the most charming guy is the guy from Weird Loners, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I
on top
agree.
of the scurvy.
I like the black guy.
It's having a rough week.
The black guy was also pretty good. Jay Hernandez is my least. No, Higgins is my least favorite part of the show. The weird looking giraffe lady. that is taking the place of the old man.
Yeah,
So
because
the
in
first
the original, it was an old man, like almost
Yeah.
a butler, right?
Yeah, but he was really the secret boss.
Behind it all, yeah.
So the first like 10 minutes of this show, when they like introduce everybody before that one dude gets straight up fucking murdered,
Mhm.
that you think I thought at least was going to be like a main character in the show.
Right.
They like give him his own introduction and everything, and then they murder his ass. But anyway,
You thought the guy not named Magnum was going to be the show?
I thought he was going to be a regular
Oh,
character.
I thought you said was going to be the main focus of the show.
No,
Sorry,
just like a regular character. Anyway, regardless, like the first 10 minutes, I think I even said something in the group about it. Like, I was like, oh man, like I like the show more than I thought I would. But by the end, man, I'm good.
Did you ever go back and watch a second episode of MacGyver?
No.
Okay, because you said you were gonna.
Yeah, I did.
Kristen, I think Kristen's up to date on that show.
Oh my god.
On MacGyver?
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was. It just I liked MacGyver so much back in the day.
I think she's also current on Magnum PI. She says the second episode doesn't feel nearly as forced, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm cutting it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm a cut on that. I might watch another episode, but it'd probably go the way of MacGyver.
There's no mustache.
Also that.
He gets the Detroit cap in the second episode. He didn't have it in the first episode.
Oh, it's 2 episodes of this?
Kristen did. She told me about it.
Okay. Cut before I ever watch it.
I'm assuming
Evan's cut. He's got a couple of ratings notes on some of these. Ratings are much lower than anticipated. It's a toss-up for renewal. Could also see them moving it to Fridays.
Be interesting if
that's kind of
doesn't do
surprising,
well.
Especially how well Hawaii Five-0 did.
Yeah.
I think that's why. I mean, obviously, it's why they keep doing these. But Hawaii Five-0 seems to be a more competently put together show.
Well, it's also got Hurley and Scott Conn
and Jin.
Others.
Next up, I think an NBC show, Manifest. I believe it's NBC.
I don't think it is. I think it's ABC.
Maybe it is ABC.
I'm on it.
It screams ABC because
the acting
NBC
does. Now that you say it,
I thought ABC was on Hulu.
Both are.
They are? Okay, maybe it is. I only watched the first episode of this.
Same here. I thought that the story was super
NBC.
Interesting. It's
WNBC.
WNBC.
The story's super interesting. Like, I really like the idea of like where the show could potentially go. Man, particularly that lead actress.
She's terrible.
She sucks, man.
She's so terrible.
Like, it's hard to fucking watch.
I didn't want to finish the first episode specifically because of that.
But I like where the show seems to be going.
See,
like,
I don't like the voices. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, like the whole talking to the, like, hearing the dogs thing or whatever, and like whatever they're trying to plant the seed of in terms of this like telekinesis powers or whatever, or telepathic rather. Like,
right.
It's not vibing with me in any way
Why
whatsoever.
would they dick over that kid like that too? That didn't make any sense.
It's just, like, the whole show. Like, I just don't get it, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
I legit don't like this.
Yeah,
show.
I'm
Interesting
it too.
Yeah.
So you guys are both cuts on this?
I am a cut. Yes,
I am a cut.
Evan. Oh wait, go ahead.
I'm a tentative keep. I didn't love it, but I'm intrigued by it. I'm pulling an Evan on this one, so
gross.
I intend to at least watch another episode or two.
I almost want to finish it just to prove my theory from Upfronts, in which this is some sort of God show.
I can see that still.
You guys told me I was crazy.
I didn't, because, well, I might have. I don't remember the conversation. Evan says he's going to keep it, but it's on a short leash. It's the biggest hit of the fall so far. Will get renewed.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt it'll get renewed. It'll
be manifestier.
This screams like Low Rent Lost to me.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's
like,
God Lost.
I mean, it's only lost in that there's a
Manifest,
mystery with a plane
not
involved.
only on the plane,
but I mean, they're gone for a long time and then they come back.
Yeah, but
that's also Lost. Also, I don't like the show. Lost.
You lost me there. He lost me there.
It's a lost world, Trey.
Yeah, Jurassic Park.
Shut up, Josh. You broke the funny stuff.
Next up,
dummy.
Another CBS joint, FBI. Aptly named.
The show that
involves
nobody
the
understood
FBI.
my awesome rude bomb joke about.
Yeah, that's because it kind of fucking sucks.
No, man. In the first 5 minutes of this show, 3 bombs interrupts. It's not just once. 3 different times a bomb interrupts a sentence. Not just that it goes off, but they go to the well 3 times in like 5 minutes.
Bombs don't go by your conversation rules, Josh.
Apparently,
especially if
by
they're
no
over
one's
Baghdad.
conversation rules, even when they're being written about. Yeah, bombs over Baghdad.
Go on.
I kind of like this
Boom!
show though.
See, I'm like a rude bomb.
You are. You're totally a
Boom!
character on FBI. I kind of like this show.
It's all right.
You don't like a Dick Wolf show?
I didn't like it nearly
It
as
even
much as I
had the
thought
Law
it
and
would.
Order done at the beginning of it.
It did.
I was
With a bomb.
I forgot that it was a Dick Wolf show until that exact moment.
This is a short leash for me as well. I'm gonna watch another couple episodes, but I didn't love it.
I'm gonna cut it. I don't like that dude. I don't like his face. I don't like his attitude.
It's the lady I don't like on this one.
He was like
She's more the problem
super
for me.
aggressive. She's a low rent Deb from Dexter.
That's fair.
She can't act
Sure.
as well
With a
either.
little more meat on her bones, maybe. FBI is about FBI agents.
This is a tentative keep for me as well.
We didn't really talk about the show, but we
I
have a lot of
overall
shows to get
enjoy
through.
the show.
It's FBI agents getting into shenanigans.
Yeah,
It
it's a procedural.
definitely does the problem of procedural television in which it skews a little too close to reality. It pulls a little too much from the headlines currently. But overall,
Not all procedurals do that.
yeah.
but-
Overall, though, I found it genuinely entertaining.
yeah, I'll grant you that.
I'll give it another 2
I enjoyed
episodes.
watching it. It just didn't
I was not entertained.
Also,
not hook the way I am with some other procedurals.
MS-13 is a legit, like, terrifying aspect of our country. Like,
That is correct.
those fuckers are scary, and the fact that it's like being worked into entertainment now.
Yeah. So,
Hang on.
Oh, good.
Evan says cut, but he liked it way more than he thought. Above average
Interesting.
ratings, and it will get renewed unless there is a dramatic dip.
Oh, the old dramatic dip.
Yeah, ranch. Sorry,
Um,
ranch.
Yeah.
Another procedural up next. This one, I believe, also on NBC. New Amsterdam. This stars one Tom Keane from The Blacklist as basically a doctor who gets hired as like kind of the chief of the hospital or whatever.
Yeah,
At
kind of
this-
the chief of medicine.
Yeah, he's running shit at this new hospital, and his thing is like, we're going to like stop worrying about how much we bill each month.
the bureaucracy. Of it.
Yeah, and we're gonna get back to like being doctors and genuinely helping people. Did you watch this, Chuck?
Yep.
Cool.
Why did you ask us all these things before we started tonight?
Because I wanted to see what I needed to keep on the list and what I needed to cut.
He didn't.
Do you think I was going to remember every single fucking one of these?
I thought you were writing like a C or a J
No.
next to the one. Okay.
I was just figuring out
would've
what we
been
needed
way
to keep
too
and
smart.
cut. As far as
Yeah.
what we're going to talk about tonight.
for Champ and Josh.
Right.
Man, the lead in this is just super charismatic.
He is.
He's awesome.
I like this show.
I love this show.
I also love this show.
I like this show a whole lot. Like, this is a very easy, like, I'm going to try and finish. I don't know if I can go
This-
22 episodes, but
This for me is like a prime example. The fact that you guys like this maybe will give you some insight into why I like procedural so much. Like,
I mean, I enjoy procedural television.
Eh.
I don't love the way you do.
sure,
procedural
well, no one
television.
does, but
That's a true story. Dick Wolf hates procedurals compared to you.
that's true. It's totally true. He needs to get on my level. No, but just like how excited that guy is to like help people and like these like feel good stories and
And they pepper in at the very end, obviously, the intrigue of, he is terminal or,
Yeah.
you assume terminal at this point. And so he's kind of getting into what he can and he doesn't care about the repercussions because he only has so much to live for at this point.
Right. Which I'm sure this, if the show does well, will turn around.
Of
But
course, they'll cure cancer if they have to. Like the drama with his wife was a little much because it was over and out like immediately.
yeah,
They were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, he's married and they're about to have a kid and the kid's about to die." And oh, it's all good again. Bye. Like it literally
they
happened in
threw
1
a lot
second.
at you in that first episode. That's fair.
Oh shit! Maggie Lawson is Stifler's ex-wife in Lethal Weapon.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
Nice.
continue.
Anyway, I did actually though. I like really connected with the like Ebola kid. Like they played that up really well.
The Ebola kid was good. I like that the actress that's plays that doctor that like goes in there and kind of gets stuck or whatever. I like her quite a bit. Also, really liked the doctor, like the older doctor
The
who.
psych. Oh, that guy.
No, I do the psych guy. There's straight up, literally the same fucking character on Chicago Med.
There's a
Wasn't
lot.
that
played
guy
by,
in Deadbeat?
Yes,
that
he is the
Hulu
guy
show?
from Deadbeat.
Okay.
The show produced by Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Who saw Ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
Um,
that show for like the one episode I watched.
No, but the older doctor
The
with
Indian
like
guy.
Yeah, that has like he loses his glasses on his head and is like taking stuff real slow, and you think he's kind of a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
But it turns out that he's like real fucking good at his job.
Yeah.
Man, it was super predictable, but like very satisfying when that turn happened.
And like the pulling at the heartstrings moment of that woman getting to, cross back across the border.
Yeah. Because of course he talked to the Mexican consulate or whatever.
He happened to exactly have the right two patients in the emergency room or whatever.
What does that matter?
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I mean, it is enjoyable. Like this is an easy keep for me.
Also an easy keep for me.
Yeah, this is like probably my favorite new show.
But I bet you I can tell what Evan is.
Cut. He enjoyed the show, especially the lead, doing solid in the ratings. Will renew if there's no fall off.
Next up, A Million Little Things, ABC joint.
I also heard
Chuck,
it's basically This Is Us.
It's This Is Us in that it's like meant to make you
sappy.
Yeah, meant to make you cry, and again pulls at the heartstrings. I haven't seen a lot of This Is Us, but I don't think it's similar in any other way.
Milo Ventimiglia does not die in this show.
Chuck's gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna ask him. Did you watch this?
Yes.
All right, cool.
There is one premiere I did not watch, and that's Murphy Brown. That's
all
it. Right. I got all the rest.
Tell me what you think about this.
What are we talking about again?
A Million Little Things.
Oh,
James Roday.
James Roday, and a funny but very cynical psych character.
Yeah.
I liked the show. I thought there were some poignant moments. Incredibly, God, it's so sad. But I think there might be a bit of a mystery here with him jumping and all that kind of stuff. That of course
I can see that.
Thrown out because there were some things that his assistant was hiding and not telling everybody all the truth and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for those who didn't get to watch it, basically at the beginning of the show, one of the guys jumps off a roof, or not a roof, but off his balcony in his office, and basically the rest of his friends are all in like kind of bad spots and don't really talk much, or like at least talk about anything profound, and this kind of brings them back together and forces them to have some tough conversations.
Gotcha.
So I didn't think I was gonna like the show at all. This show's really good. Like, it's well acted, it's well written. Like, everything about the show is top notch. All that said, I think it's a cut for me. There's so much TV.
Yeah.
And I didn't get super pulled in by the story. Like, I appreciated the show more than I liked the show.
That's fair. Chuck?
I think I'm going to keep it on a short leash. Every once in a while, a grown man needs a good cry.
That's fair.
I had one of those.
This is going to wind up being that show for me. Okay. Like, there were a couple of moments, like when that dude was breaking down at the game, because James Roday was talking about how they talk, but they never talk.
Right.
I don't know anything about you. I know that we were in an elevator and we like the Bruins.
I did not watch the show.
Oh, the Bruins,
yes.
Boston Bruins. Okay, and he's like, that's all I know about you guys, and he kind of called bullshit on the whole thing, and then they go to the hockey game, and the black guy was like, him dying saved my life.
Like, yeah, I'd be dead right now.
Yeah, he had a mouthful of pills.
pills.
He was going to kill himself when his friend killed himself.
I feel like that was kind of the show. The conceit of the show is like it pulls them back a little bit. All of his friends.
And A Million Little Things is essentially like friendship.
Okay. So it's a key for you. What did Evan say?
Evan says, cut. Decent, but too depressing. Ratings are way off from what they were expecting, but not super low. Toss up for renewal.
Yeah, especially if may not even get a second season.
I didn't really realize we also had results from the cancellation bear here.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, take that, cancellation bear. God, I miss Calivan.
All right, run of sitcoms coming up here. Single Parents.
All single parents. All single parents. That's all I got.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This show is delightful.
I
didn't like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I yelled at my TV in anger.
That sounds like a Josh-ass thing to do.
Like, when he's like at the very beginning of the show, when he is addressing the entire class of like first graders or whatever, talking about Taco Tuesday, and like it was just so painfully uncomfortable. I muted it and yelled "fuck you" at my TV.
You're wrong. That guy's the best.
Yeah. I will admit
that guy
starts off a little corny, but
is the best.
man, I like every single fucking character in this show.
I also love this show. This might be my favorite sitcom.
I don't think it's my favorite, but I do like it quite a bit.
The new ones.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think it's my favorite of the new ones, but it is definitely a keep for me.
God, just Brad Garrett, just everywhere he goes, just like giving people money, just
Here's
handing
20.
out money. Like he goes up to the cop and he's like, "Here, get yourself something nice." And they're like, "Sir, I can't." No, I know what you make.
And then the wonderful Frozen number at the end.
That was
Moana?
amazing.
Or Moana, I'm sorry, I said Frozen.
That was amazing.
Basically the same movie.
Wait, you did watch the whole episode.
I told you I did.
You said you muted it, and then you said "fuck you."
I never said I stopped the show.
That
I
would
muted it during
imply-
that scene.
So, you read lips when people are singing Moana?
no,
Do
I
ya?
I started listening again after that scene.
Sure, you did.
It was painfully uncomfortable for me during that scene.
You
I
never
never
said that
intended to
you-
infer that I muted it
did.
for the entire show or stopped watching it.
Trey.
I don't care.
Why would I mute it and yell at my
I
TV
do.
instead of just turning it off?
Let's talk about Last Man Standing, because I
Anyways,
don't want to talk about
hold
single
on.
parents anymore.
I'm keeping this.
It's a cut for me.
It's a
Easy.
keep for me.
Evan says cut, but we'll watch from time to time. That is not a cut, Evan. The definition of cut is to stop watching it.
Short leash, bro.
Solid ratings, not definite renewal, but has a decent shot. I like the second episode too.
I've not watched the second
I'm
one.
current on this show.
Nice. I will be soon. So technically not a new show premiere, but Last Man Standing getting canned on ABC and picked up and revived by Fox.
Liberal and idiot are redundant, apparently.
That they are, sir. That they are. I'm surprised you didn't know that already.
I
you
did
would
'cause
if
I
you were
watched
smart.
the promotional material from the show.
So you didn't actually watch the episode?
Dude, I told you. I
I would ask Chuck, but I know that he did because this is not Murphy Brown.
Thank you,
Um,
Trey. That's called applied learning, and I'm proud of you.
Oh, don't worry. I'll forget it about 2 more shows from now.
That's funny.
So yeah, so this is seasons 7, 9,
Sure. Fuck you, Tim.
something like that. So Tim Allen joint. He's raising 3 daughters. Owns like a Bass Pro Shop style joint.
Does videos apparently.
Yeah, does YouTube videos now. I don't know how long that's been going on the show. This show's lazy as fuck.
I actually thought it was kind of clever how they started the show.
The opening bit about like, I can't believe like who would cancel such a like wonderful show.
It's like maybe it's
Like-
on a different channel. They don't do that.
Yeah,
It gets canceled. It gets canceled. It's like no. Oh, there it is.
yeah. That whole thing a little heavy handed, but I agree that like I started out going like,
It was
this is pretty funny,
Yeah, to me it was a clever way to do that.
man. And then and obviously I guess up front I'm a very liberal person. Typically vote for Democrats in most elections, though not all.
As clearly am I, although voting, Huh.
Yeah, other than the voting part.
He bitches Democrat.
I do indeed bitch Democrat.
But regardless, like it wasn't so much like I could give 2 shits if you make fun of like liberals. It's just like, man, the fucking laziness of it. Like the low hanging fruit. Like we're gonna have the ditzy blonde clearly be the liberal in the show. Like no one who's smart can possibly be a liberal. Like if you're an intelligent person, you're clearly going to be a conservative. Like that's the message I garnered from this show after 30 minutes.
Well, the guy who's married to that girl is pretty smart.
Is he though?
The Canadian guy.
Yeah.
They make fun of him because he's Canadian, but he's clearly intelligent.
I mean, he's not like ditzy like the oldest daughter is or
Uh-huh.
anything. I agree with that, but
She's pretty hot though. Really?
Yeah, not a fan.
Hmm.
Too ditzy. Nobody expected it from Trey, but too ditzy.
Too ditzy. Not enough titsy.
all that checks out.
More titsy, no ditzy. More titsy. No.
God, that's a chant I can get behind. Or in front of, or
Just
Anyway.
right in the middle.
Man, regardless, I did not enjoy the show and definitely
God.
won't keep watching it.
yeah, it's a cut for me. It's an easy cut.
Preemptive cut. Evan.
Evan says cut hard. Had a huge debut. It's a definite renewal.
I mean,
Oh yeah, that show's doing well.
It got married to the perfect network, and it
Yeah,
did the like war cry for the right kind of people. That show's gonna go on another 5 years.
at least yeah. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the revival of Murphy Brown.
Shocker. I liked this a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
The show fucking sucks.
So
go on.
I get your complaint, and I don't necessarily disagree with it.
Which complaint? I have several.
It's frustrating for it to be so in your face with the real life politics of it all.
Yeah, like I get enough of that shit. I stay current on politics.
I don't have that complaint about media, personally speaking. Like I am perfectly fine with the show wanting to take liberties in terms of referencing reality, and obviously this particular show speaks to my ideology, so I'm okay with it. Is it depressing in some aspects? Absolutely, because do I believe that if Murphy Brown had been a real person and she started mouthing off against Trump on Twitter, would he interrupt her show with his own tweets? 100%.
Yeah, that's obviously a realistic thing to
which
think
is
could
why
happen.
it doesn't bug me as much. I also have immense nostalgia for this show. I loved it growing up. Seeing these characters back together.
Hey, is Jim back on the show? The wooden character that's got very good posture.
I am not remembering names right now.
I mean, is there another wooden person that's got very good posture?
Is he literally wooden?
He acts wooden. That's kind of his charm.
So the only ones, again, like unfortunately, like I think he might be, but the only ones that I remember, like specifically, are back are Miles, who was their producer, Murphy, Corky, who was like the younger blonde woman, and then the other old guy at this point now.
Yeah, I don't remember his
What's
name
his
either.
name?
I can't remember.
I
I bet it's Jim.
It may indeed be.
Regardless, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Does he have very good posture?
No.
He's got average posture.
He's
Did he
in
have
the middle.
good posture when he wasn't as old?
Entirely possible. So the thing that stuck out the most to me, and that was the worst part of this premiere, and I watched the first 2 episodes, is the incredibly weird and 100% pointless Hillary Clinton moment.
That was maybe the only part I liked of the
Really?
entire episode.
Hillary Clinton
Just because-
showing up on this show as a different Hillary, wanting
that
to...
joke, like it was
This
so
guy?
dumb.
Nope.
No.
No, that's Jim.
Okay. Is he alive still?
Yeah, he's on the show.
Okay, he's not in the first 2 episodes. The conceit of this is obviously, Murphy Brown always having been a very hard left-leaning liberal reporter back in the day, is, fed up and sick as a retired person with the current political state of our country. Her son moves back into town to start his own show, and of course, she decides to revive her show in the exact same coincidental time slot. And like that seems to be probably the potential point of contention moving forward. You didn't watch the 2nd episode?
I didn't, and I probably won't.
So
You're thinking of Frank Fontana.
Yes, Frank, that's his name. So they work in like real
What a
life
great name.
footage of Sarah Huckabee Sanders into the 2nd episode.
Mhm.
She essentially, which is like calling back to the original series, but she was banned from the White House press briefings for the last like 2 decades, essentially, and she tries to sneak in and like create this I am Spartacus type moment of rallying the news against them, and she gets like called out on it. Like nobody follows her son doesn't even follow her, and he basically calls her out on her shit, and like it seems like she's going to learn to work a little bit more within the system.
And if that's the case, then good on the show, I guess. It just felt like the total opposite of Last Man Standing. It was low-hanging fruit.
I'll admit to
It
being
was bad
pandered to.
jokes. Like, it was super fucking lazy. The only reason I like the Hillary thing is it like just happened to be so bad it was good. Like the joke of like, yeah, no, I am Hillary Clinton, but I spell it with 2 L's or whatever, like, or 1 L or whatever the
Well,
fuck.
it wasn't Clinton, it was a different last name.
Or whatever it was. Like, clearly it was like meant to be, hey, I didn't get the job I wanted, so now I'm interviewing to be your assistant. Like, I thought that, like, I chuckled a little bit at that. But
You
man,
Lib.
Sometimes being pandered to works. It
I
doesn't
mean,
always.
and
but
I guess as long
sometimes
as
it
you
does.
realize that's what's happening, then good on you.
Oh,
I
100%.
Pandered
Man.
Express.
The fact that this exists on CBS is a fucking mystery to me.
Yeah, because it's all the old people. Yeah, I can see that.
Like,
I mean,
CBS's demographic does not, like, if they were actually filming in front of a live studio audience, there would not be the
Well,
cheers in which they have.
it's also not doing well, I don't think. So,
Speaking of which, well, let's do keeps and cuts.
cut.
I'm not gonna start, so I guess cut. Murphy Brown cut hard. Lower than expected numbers. Decent total viewers, but really bad in 1849. Toss up, but leaning towards cancel.
I will say I did also get a slight bit of nostalgia from this, which I enjoyed.
It was one of those, like, this is like one of the very few shows growing up that I watched with my mother.
Yeah, I didn't watch it a ton. But
my mom is
enough that
basically Murphy Brown not on TV. Like,
Gotcha. That totally checks out now that I think about it.
so, like, watching this show, like, if she were to visit right now, I would be happy to show her the fact that this show is back, and let's watch all episodes right now.
Also, when the fuck is your mom coming to visit again?
Probably never.
What's up, girl?
That's a bummer.
Yeah, she's cool.
She is cool. I've enjoyed hanging out with her the few times I've gotten to do so.
Look,
She's gonna be real mad at me because I
Look.
didn't register.
Jim. Excellent
I am
posture.
too, you fucker.
Excellent posture. Look at that guy.
I literally meant to. I never did.
He's wooden.
Yeah, well, today was the last day.
I know. I missed it.
Look at that posture.
Way to go.
Sure. He does have
Straight
great
as an
posture.
arrow. You don't remember that guy?
I do, but I wouldn't have picked him out of a lineup.
Hey, let's talk about the cool kids.
No.
Okay.
This is another new sitcom.
Fuck no. Let's talk about anything else.
Chuck, what do you think?
I like this show.
I adore this show.
Evan,
It's
come back.
So good.
Evan, come back.
It's
It's it's like super cheesy and super corny. It's about these three guys and a lady who are in a retirement home.
I've seen that
kinda-
movie, and Steven Gutenberg is not in this show.
They're just kind of getting
could
into
be.
mischief and shit,
He-
trying
Jamie
to get
Farr
a keg
is.
for somebody's memorial. I love the chemistry between them all. What's his face? The guy who's like just flaming.
I can't remember that guy's name.
Man, I can't
He's
either.
hilarious.
He is so funny.
Plays my beta blockers with boner pills.
God.
Everything he says makes me laugh.
You know, guy girl stuff.
You do a really good impression of
You
him.
actually do really nail that.
That guy-
How old was David Allen Greer during In Living Color? He's ancient now.
I don't know, man, but
I'm
he
not
cracks me
100%
up.
sure if he's not wearing a rig on his head.
Well, he was on some sports show today and still had the same exact look. And he looked that way in Lemony Snicket season 2 as well.
Either way,
He typically
really like
shaves
this
his
show.
head, and he's really not that bad. He's 62 years old. He's not that old. He's not nearly as old as they make him up to be.
They
on
make
the
him
show.
seem much older. I despised every second of this show.
I can see that.
I thought it was funny, man. I like the girl from It's Always Sunny. It was weird that Charlie just showed up.
Yeah.
It was
And
incredible.
then I waited until the credits rolled, and at the end of Sunny, where they record something backwards, it's the exact same logo, and I was like, oh shit. He totally produced the show. He writes it and directs almost all of it.
Oh, no wonder we like it.
Yeah, it's
It's not like a hard keep in that like I can see maybe me not loving this for a whole 20-something episodes, but for now it's definitely a keep for like at least another 5 or 6 episodes.
Cut for me.
I really liked it. It's a keep. Evan's going to cut it. Good ratings for Friday will be renewed if it holds.
Cool.
That's good news.
Yeah, that is good news.
I also like half-hour sitcoms.
Yeah, let's keep going with the sitcoms. Happy Together.
The Damon Wayans joint. Junior.
Yeah, Damon
not-
Wayans Jr.
He's not quitting this show.
Man, his wife is cute.
Yeah, she
She
is.
is.
So yeah, this is a kind of like average suburban couple. One of their favorite like activities is recording funny answering machine messages on their landline.
Damon Wayans Jr. is younger
Um,
than me and does not have a landline. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there.
That is correct, unless he's in the show. And basically, he's the accountant, I guess, for a very famous like Justin Bieber-esque pop star who then decides to move in with them. Initially just as a temporary thing, and by the end of the episode,
He's like their baby
it's,
boy.
of course, a permanent thing. So this show's not great, I don't think.
Damon Wayans Jr. is the worst.
He's real bad.
He's
and I like
was
him,
he
but
like
he's
this on
man.
New Girl?
No.
Okay.
He was great on New Girl.
He's a little too like
over the
goofy.
top.
Yeah,
Way over the top.
I
I
will
also
say-
hated this show.
I will say this: the very end hooked me enough that I'm thinking about watching a second episode. Like, I kind of want to know what these three are going to get into now that it's a permanent situation. Like, what a weird setup.
The
Damon Wayans is 30. Jr. is 35. Born in November 18th, 1982.
so he's younger than me.
Barely.
10 months. Sure. The mother is the only thing that like sort of semi made me laugh.
I like the Justin Bieber dude too. I forget his name, but He
Yeah,
had some
I don't
funny
remember.
lines. I mean, not everything he said was funny, but it definitely Wayne's is definitely the one that makes you not want to watch the show.
He's the Kevin James of the show, yeah. He stands out as the weakest part of the show, just like Kevin James did with King of Queens, you know. I did not like him in King of Queens, but overall, that show is semi-entertaining. This is a hard cut for me. Judge me all you want. Kevin James sucks.
I am. I'm judging you as much as I possibly can.
Can you feel it?
King of Queens is great. This one is a very, very short leash keep. I'm gonna watch one more episode, I think.
This was probably my least favorite of all the premieres. I am cutting this,
And
which says something considering that it is a half hour.
Evan.
comedy. Evan is also going to cut this. It had its moments. The wife is hot. Weighing sucks. Middle of the road ratings, toss up, but I guess cancel.
Next up, man, a lot of half-hour comedies. I didn't really realize how many.
Which wasn't the case the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
God,
remember Marry Me?
The Neighborhood. I do remember Marry Me. That show is great.
Speaking of great shows,
Indeed, The
The
Neighborhood
Neighborhood.
is fucking fantastic. This is about a white family who moves into a predominantly black neighborhood, and it's kind of an interesting take on race.
Like, this show has not Kat Dennings in it, and I still love it. The other white girl from Two Broke Girls.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. I
that's
don't remember her name.
it's all good.
I'm on it.
I enjoy Kat Dennings, but anyway,
Yeah, I do not, but she is not bad to look at.
Yes, she is.
So everybody on this show has good interplay and is charming in their own right, but almost no character in television is better to me than the younger son.
he's the best.
His enjoyment, his pure elation at the fact that
Beth
this white
Bears.
family has moved in. Yes. At the fact that this white family has moved in next to his father, who cannot stand the
You
idea.
know what show that kid was on, right?
No.
The Mayor. He
Yep.
was one of the friends of
Was he? That
the
makes
mayor.
sense.
I'm glad some of those guys landed.
I really
on
like
new
The
shows.
Mayor.
The Mayor was so great.
This show is just delightful.
Yeah,
I
man,
laughed.
it's
like
Yep.
less charismatic John Mulaney as the white guy.
Are you kidding me? That's Schmidt from New Girl.
Is
it is.
Yes.
That's where I recognize him. He
Yeah.
has a little John
Max
Mulaney.
Greenfeld?
He does have a little John Mulaney in him.
Oh, that's right.
I agree.
Greenfeld.
He does.
They're close.
He has like the
he's way more
effeminates
fit.
of John Mulaney, but yes, with a more fit stature.
So this show, not only is it really funny, but it does what Murphy Brown and Last Man Standing, in my opinion, do very poorly, in that it tackles some like legitimate issues. Like they are certainly dealing with race in the show,
Mhm.
but like in a way that is not heavy-handed,
It was
that is
smart.
legitimately funny.
Is it Crackhead Johnny?
Yes.
Oh,
like-
you can't call him a crackhead?
Like the older son, while not nearly as entertaining as the younger one,
He
is
has
like
one of the
serves-
best moments of the show.
Yes.
You're talking about outside when they're drinking beers?
Absolutely.
That was really, really good.
Like
It was
it's
well
poignant
written.
at times.
Putting into perspective, he's like, it's easy for you to say, but you don't live this life
Yeah.
type thing, and not heavy-handed, but not heavy-handed in a way.
It was just
Um,
told really smartly, I think.
I really
it's
enjoyed
not
it.
heavy-handed in that like they kind of dance around it with some jokes, but it's never like in your face.
It's not very
And then at
specifically
the
saying
end,
the
they
line,
they
yeah.
deliver like this natural conclusion that's a little bit more heartfelt, and then they end it like with a perfect joke right at the end.
Him standing in the window. Or whatever.
Yeah.
I've got black friends. it is really funny. I also really
It's
like
super well made.
the white kid, the son.
Yeah,
I think he comes in at the right time with jokes
he's
almost every time.
written very well.
Yeah. Oh, so that you got the jerk to hug you or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I don't. I really. I am absolutely gonna watch more of this show.
Yeah, this is a solid keep for me.
Also, a keep from me. Evan said... Wait, did you say keep?
I did.
Okay. Evan says, cut, but I liked it. Average ratings, probably renewal.
I mean, I do hope this show A continues to be as good as that first episode, and B, if so, gets renewed.
Yeah, it could fall apart real quick.
Yeah, I can
It
see
fall
that.
back into
But
tropes.
man,
without
right now,
question.
based on first episodes, this is my favorite new sitcom.
And when they bring over the bottle of wine and the mother is like, I'm gonna take this inside and show all these other freeloaders how to bring gifts, and she yells and like pointing at the wine bottle, I laughed real hard at that.
It was champagne, Josh.
Was it champagne?
It
They're
was.
celebrating moving in their new house, man.
I'm uncultured. I'm sorry.
I feel bad.
Yeah, you do.
Also, let's talk about that show.
So I like this show, but I love the characters. The show itself doesn't knock it out of the park for me,
That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah.
but the two dads on this show are perfect.
God, that Indian dad has been in so many things.
Everything. But when he comes out and when the main characters, I don't know any character's name in this show at all.
I'm with you.
I hate the Irish best friend or whatever. Hate her. But everything else I like.
Oh yeah,
She's terrible. But
She's not the best actress for sure.
when the younger dad comes out and is like trying to relate to like saying compliments about the mother to really actually compliment his wife,
Yeah.
and like it's all weird, and the mother keeps like, what is with you, man? And then just the nonchalant of the Indian father being like, don't make me fight you for her. Like his delivery of that, I actually fell off my couch laughing. Like I rolled over laughing.
Her like crew at work is also really funny.
That's my least favorite part of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I like it.
The even creepier with a mustache Michael Cera,
Yeah.
do not like him.
Oh, I think he's hilarious.
The drone got like tiresome to me. The like
What about that fat guy that got stuck on a wall?
the fat guy was real funny.
Do you notice? Do you remember him from another show? Trey?
He's recognizable for me.
He was definitely recognizable, but yeah, I don't remember.
Crashing. He's his manager.
Oh yeah.
That goes up to him at the froyo stand.
Oh yeah.
When they're like
He's
Crashing.
just always sitting in
Yeah.
that club.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When she's
I'll
like-
manage you.
when she's like, you're hanging off a giant set of boobs, and he's like, I'm stuck up here, nobody will help me. You think I'm liking it either? Like, I thought that was incredibly funny. But the other two characters I could absolutely throw away with. It's incredibly cliche. This is why I say the show doesn't knock it out of the park for me. Like the video game developer with the three virgin guys, basically.
Yeah.
Like it's incredibly cliche and doesn't work. But the overall conceit of her not wanting to turn into her mother, of her dealing with wanting to be the cooler, more, calm mother, but also not wanting her daughter to dance crazy sexy with Justin Bieber, the young one, or whatever. Like that was all really fun.
Holy shit, that was crazy.
When she kicked the shoe at his chest or whatever, and like she's like, I just threw a shoe at a young child. I am my mother. And
Yeah.
and she was like, it's okay, it bounced off his abs. Like that was really funny to me.
Second episode holds strong. By
Does
the
it?
way.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna.
She uses a house sitting as like an escape from her family, and
Nice.
just like uses all their stuff.
I'm gonna give this another shot for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
It's a short leash keep for me.
Evan says keep. Best new sitcom. That's debatable. Average ratings can't go down or will lean towards cancel.
Okay.
All right, and last but not least for the keep or cut section, easily the worst titled show of any new show this year, God Friended Me on CBS.
You're forgetting Mr. In Between.
Oh, I am.
You want to talk about Mr. In Between real quick?
I can.
Yeah, this is the one I didn't get to watch.
I did.
Go for it.
It is an FX show, so I am already leaning towards I like it because I like FX shows. Spoiler alert.
What is he in between of?
He is in between of being an enforcer for a mafioso type and being a separated dad.
Okay. Interesting
And
conceit.
it's actually quite interesting. The guy is he's been on other stuff before, but he's pretty charming. He's an older guy, so like he takes some of his like when he beats up on people, it takes him a little bit longer to recover. There's this one scene where he's walking with his daughter. They're eating ice cream, and these guys like talk shit to him, say he's old man and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, he kind of blows it off. He walks his daughter to the car, puts her in, buckles her in, says, "I'll be right back." And he just walks up to those guys are like, "Oh, you want some more, old man?" He just kicks the fuck out of the main guy in the nuts, and those other kids like just take off running, and he just walks away like he was just
That's
in
fantastic.
stride. I mean, he kicks the shit out of that guy's balls. I really like the show. I like the lead character. He's got some of his serious moments. It feels very Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, where he's being very smart about it, very intimidating. And then when he gets to his daughter, he just kind of melts. Some of the dialogue is a little hard to understand because he's got a very, very, very thick, like British Australian accent.
Not what I was expecting.
Same
But it is very, very, very good. I love it. I'm going to keep it. It's a half-hour FX show.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's going to be
okay.
watched.
Yeah.
Cool.
It felt like it was going to be
might give it a shot
50-minute show.
That's what when you explained it, everything about that felt like an hour.
Even
long.
the trailer that I watched, I was like, "This is going to be an
Half-hour
hour."
drama is pretty rare.
Yeah, it's got some funny moments to it too. I mean, he did kick the shit out of that kid's nuts. Evan says,
Always
"Mr.
fun.
In Between cut, but I liked it. Would keep if I had less to watch. Average cable ratings, getting a little buzz from critics, so I lean toward renewal."
Cool.
And then it's already been renewed. So
There you go.
You talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right, now for the worst name show of the fall season.
God friended me.
God friended me. This is a show about a very vocal atheist, dumbly so, who
You said dumbly so.
yeah,
With how vocal he is.
yeah, like
Okay.
no atheist literally says like, "Hey, there's no God" in like every conversation they have, unless he's on a CBS show. It turns out.
or he's trying to sell a podcast about atheists.
I mean,
Yeah.
to the guy he's selling the podcast to, maybe not to just other people.
Or he's William
don't know.
Lunny sharing on Facebook.
So what?
Or he's William Lunny sharing on Facebook.
That's fair.
I didn't find it that bad.
Yeah, I didn't
Continue with the
either.
actual synopsis
Yeah,
and
sorry.
leave out the opinions if you don't mind.
If you, if you
I
would,
will do it
please.
however the fuck I like. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem, champ.
I don't like when you two get along. It's fucking weird.
It's twice you said
I
that.
feel like I'm
Doesn't matter.
Sonic.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, yeah.
you
fuck
didn't know what
you.
to do.
I didn't. I wanted to, but then the real thing here is like
Have the real thing, Josh. Much like Coke. Is that the real thing?
I don't know.
do the real thing.
Anyways, God friends him on Facebook. Literally, it kind of connects him to a handful of people, and he is now kind of not sure what the fuck's going on. He still, I think, is kind of convinced
It's
it's some
dealing-
kind of hoax.
It's
but-
dealing with coincidence a lot, and
Yeah.
it leads him to a bit of an inner struggle. So I really enjoyed this show.
This
it
show
has
is well made.
No business being as enjoyable as it is.
I will grant you that.
For me,
That kid is so likable,
Yes.
man.
incredibly
Also from the
charming.
mayor.
Correct. He was the mayor.
He
Yeah.
was indeed the mayor. He's incredibly charming. For me, I also love the fact that his father is the dude from
Justice League.
Terminator and Justice League. Yes, Terminator 2. Miles
Also
Dyson.
from Eureka on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That fits the profile.
Also
Yeah.
from like a million other
Yeah, that's
things.
fair.
So I in my heart of hearts really hope that they
I hate
don't.
that saying.
I know, I'm sorry, but like they don't go with the like definitive "this is God" route, right? Like I hope they either keep it ambiguous or have it be something else that is an overall mystery in the show. I don't think that's what they're going to do. If this lasts, I think that it just continues to lean further and further into the divine intervention aspect of it. But aside from one scene, I didn't really have too much personally in like a flaw in this show. I liked the interplay between him and the girl.
I like the
She's cutie.
She is
man.
very
She
much so.
is.
Is that Nicole Sheridan who played her mother?
I'm on it.
I like pretty much all the actors on the show. Like it's well written, it's well shot. Like from technically, there's nothing wrong with the show. I just kind of roll my eyes a lot. I like
See, it never got to me. Like,
so it gets me a little bit like.
Just wait till God friends you, you atheist pig.
and
Hey,
you'll
we'll see
meet
what
three
happens.
different people who
If I'm
you
in the-
will have to interconnectively save in order to really get to the conclusion.
One can only hope.
But so, like the coincidental meeting of them all is where it almost lost me.
Hey, Nicolette Sheridan? That lady's not,
Not
Nicolette.
Nicolette Sheridan. I think I said Nicole Sheridan.
Oh, Nicolette Sheridan's a porn star. My bad. Nicole Sheridan. No, her name. It's Rachel Bay Jones.
Okay,
She's
not what I
bae.
was thinking. Anyway, like the scene in which like she gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
which,
brutal.
by the way, it looked like it barely touched her, and she was about to die. Followed by the person who was in the car behind the taxi.
Happens to be the doctor
Yeah,
he
like
saved.
the way that it all, like I expected that, and it was in the trailer. but the way it played out was incredibly cheesy. It could have been way, way less than that.
Yeah.
They ham-fisted that particular aspect, but I never felt beaten over the head with the atheism.
No wonder she's cute and familiar. She's Jessie Quick from The Flash.
That does explain it.
She's
That's where.
I thought that said Violent Bean. It's Violet. That's still pretty close.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I didn't get like bothered by that aspect.
Once he like got friended by God and like met up with the girl and everything, it didn't really seem that much. It just seemed like I think he said, "I don't believe in God" like 3 or 4 times in the first 10 minutes. I'm like, we fucking get it, guys.
It was still funny with the burning bush and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was funny.
Really?
Yeah.
It just didn't strike me as funny. Like it wasn't offensive or whatever.
And
but...
I really liked the him standing in the back of the church for his father's big moment, and then like
the chess thing at the
in
end was really good.
Meeting him with chess in the park, like I genuinely like
yes,
those
that stuff
moments.
was good.
Overall I really enjoyed the show. I also his friend from work who's the hacker not hacker was really funny to me. I like
that's fair. Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm just looking at this list, and Evan was way more negative on this year than. Anyway,
the kid's taking it out of him.
God, he's tired. I'm done watching TV. Cut everything. Got friend of me cut, but it wasn't terrible. Decent ratings. Toss up, leaning towards renewal. If it holds, I'm keeping it.
I am as well.
I like the show. I like the characters.
It's probably cut for me.
So Evan is keeping 1, 2. He's keeping 3 shows out of all that shit.
That's crazy.
And one of them is Maniac.
That's stupid. God, what a stupid thing to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 keeps, but
My cousin's
not
bus.
That bus.
That bus girl.
I've got 9 keeps. That's probably too much.
I've got more than I had.
You're
expected.
keeping way more than you will watch, though.
Oh yeah, but the sitcoms, those will be easy finishes for me.
Right, baby.
Right. Trey,
Why are you being so aggressive?
because you're not pushing the show forward.
I mean, I don't want to right now.
Push it.
Push it real good.
No, push it real good.
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Salt and pepper's here.
All right, that's it for new shows. Let's talk about the very small amount of finished shows that we have.
Strap in, folks.
God.
I think it's just 2 I finished and 1 Chuck finished.
Good job, Josh.
You're welcome.
I finished Forever, which we talked about a few weeks ago on Amazon.
I like the sister show, Unclean.
I finished Forever years ago. Did you try?
Well, I didn't. Forever's dead, Josh. Except for this one, which may or may not be coming back. We'll see. It was one of those ones I guess they considered an event series or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll see if it comes back. It's Fred Armisen and Maya Rudolph. Basically, a very unique telling of what happens to you when you die. Do you guys?
Really?
What?
I did not get that from what you
the
guys
last
talked
time we
about.
talked about this.
Premiere. They were like fighting on the ski slopes.
Yes. So that all
Nobody
happens.
died.
That all happens, and I did not think that he was going to die.
Nobody died in the first episode.
Spoilers for Forever. Yes, they did. I just didn't know it. So literally the last thing that happens is Fred Armisen is skiing down the hill by himself, and runs into a tree, and it literally just like cuts. And I assumed he would wake up and be in the hospital or
Shenanigans.
have an ice pack on his head or some shit. No, he fucking died. And then don't worry, Maya Rudolph dies real quickly afterwards. And this entire show is literally, so they end up in like this town that is full of random people that have passed away. There's like a 16-year-old kid from like the 70s who's a giant douchebag, but also Fred Armisen's best friend.
Man, I don't know if I want to hear anything more about this. This sounds like I would love this show. How long are the episodes?
I've only really gotten into the second episode, so it's 30-minute episodes and there's only 8 of them.
Oh my god, really?
You want me to just shut up?
Yeah.
Okay, this show's fucking awesome.
I got a TV boner.
It's so good.
You did not sell this show well the first time.
Because I didn't know. When I talked about it last time, I had watched that first episode.
You're a bad show seller.
You're very bad about it.
It's a good thing show selling isn't part of the circle of life, Trey.
If she's not the hormone monstrous, I don't like Maya Rudolph, but I'm going to give this show a chance now.
It is one of the most unique takes on like life after death that I've ever seen, ever.
Just
It's-
shut up.
More than The Good Place,
It is.
Ooh, Sophie's choice.
Yes, it is. It is.
which did not go to The Good Place.
Well, shit. It's on
I'm
the
not
same
saying
level.
you
It's
enjoy
a tie.
it more you enjoy.
It can be a tie.
It really
It can
is
be a
because
tie.
The Good Place is also an incredibly unique take on.
Yeah,
it.
but that's
this
an hour
is,
long.
So what?
That's
No,
an
that's
hour
an
long.
hour.
No, it's not. It's half-hour comedy.
Yeah.
Why didn't I finish watching that? Maybe it
It's-
felt like an hour.
The first 4 episodes are kind of lame, and then it just
Does it
gets
feel like an hour?
maybe. I mean, I didn't feel that way, but I can
This
see how you might.
conversation's felt like an hour.
Either
Shut up,
way,
Josh.
I will say this:
You're right. I'm
the
sorry.
the difference I think is The Good Place still
Not my
deals
share, I don't
with
care.
the good place and the bad place,
Right.
and Forever does not.
Okay. Yet.
Yeah, that we know.
Who
of.
knows? It might, and you
Season
just
2.
don't know it yet.
Titled In Hell.
Well, cool. I'm
Forever
glad I
in Hell?
could get you guys to.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot.
It's
No, you're
really
What's
good.
it on?
Amazon Prime.
Okay.
He's not gonna do that.
No, I'm
I know
gonna
he's
give it a
not,
shot.
but-
I'm gonna watch like the first 5 minutes and be like, I don't like this.
You're gonna mute it and yell at your TV.
Yeah, but then I'll finish it.
The
but you
first
guys don't
episode is
understand that.
really funny, but it's just drastically changes after that. And then I also finished Atypical, the second season of that,
Cool.
on Netflix. I won't get into like a ton of detail, but season 1 ends with basically the mom cheating on the dad, and kind of like basically the dad is told about this like literally in the last like 2
On
minutes.
the calendar.
Yeah, of the the
right.
daughter writes it on the
I'm looking
calendar at the end of the.
Because the daughter
first
is the
season.
best.
She is. So this season deals with all sorts of shit. Like she at a certain point like questions her sexuality and like
Ooh.
best friend turns into a possible girlfriend and
Ooh.
then not. Oh god damn it! What's the character's name?
Sam.
Thank you, Sam. Yes,
Is it really?
it is.
Holy shit.
That's a miracle.
Did you just fucking pull a name out of
Yeah!
thin air? That's
Oh
crazy.
My God.
Unless you just like imprinted that on my brain.
Woo!
Either way, he's dealing with like
feel good
trying to
about
get prepared to go to college, and he joins like this after school group with other autistic high schoolers that are like again preparing for the same thing.
Uh-huh.
And those group sessions are the greatest thing of all time.
Would I even stand a chance at living through it?
It's not. I mean,
Ooh.
I don't think it's that awkward, man.
There were some parts in the first
it's
season.
it's emotional
There were
sometimes,
parts
but
of the
I don't
first
think it's
episode I
awkward.
couldn't handle.
He can't get through Glow.
That's fair. It's still, I feel like Glow is more awkward
No
than
way.
Atypical is.
No way. You're a crazy person.
You are insane.
Maybe so. I fucking adore the
Him on
show.
that bed with that girl in a bra. Josh would throw up and curl into a ball
Hold
and
on.
hibernate.
Bruh?
No.
Okay, never mind.
She's in high school, dude.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
No, don't want it.
Yeah, that part is awkward. You're right. The best friend.
The guy that always says that he's fucking and getting laid.
Yeah,
and
man.
I got so much pussy this
This-
weekend.
This season, he just is basically him just getting caught constantly smoking weed at the, like outside of the back of the store.
That kid was really funny.
Dude, he just amps it up this season. It's like this is like potential top 10 show for me for the year. I'm obviously not guaranteeing that, but like I really want it to be a top 10 show.
How's Michael Rappaport?
Fucking wonderful as always.
Is what's her name? Still the worst.
Yeah,
The wife, Jennifer Jason Leigh.
yes. Well, so
In
it's
everything.
tough. Like, so while you can,
I hated her in the first God, what I see 4 episodes.
so you can obviously relate to certain aspects of the show.
Yeah,
And I couldn't directly relate to those things in the first season. In the second season, though, we are dealing with the fallout of a woman who cheats on her husband, which it turns out I can relate to.
Trey's been in these waters.
So it was interesting to me that, like, obviously the stuff with Sam, I still couldn't necessarily like relate directly to, even though I still really enjoy like seeing all that play out. But there was a whole other side of the show this year that like very much I had mixed feelings on, but like in a good way. Like I like that it kind of challenged the fact that like based on previous experience, I should just straight up hate the wife for the whole show. But like she does things that make you like kind of feel sorry for her, and then the husband does things that like you're like, man, like that was kind of cold-hearted even in this situation. And so you're like, wait, but I probably would have done that in that situation. So like there was a lot of, and it's also even more interesting because I'm watching it with Brittany. So like voicing any of that gets a little weird. But yeah, anyways, the whole experience of that show is just real fucking good. And
I want
it's
you, like,
amazing.
every time she shows up on screen, if you just be like, "Fuck you, bitch," like loud.
Yeah, I'm not quite that. It's been a while. I'm not quite that upset about it anymore.
Stained.
Say what?
Been a while.
Oh, wow. All right, moving on.
Stained and puddle of mud.
Hey, it's Doug's birthday tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Nice. In
He
the
did really good in the movie.
most vague way possible, Chuck,
Mm-hmm.
talk to me about BoJack Horseman season 5. love this show.
This
Wanna just wait till
show,
next show or no?
He wanted to talk about it.
Oh,
So.
that's fine. Okay.
I'm gonna vague book it like you
That's fine.
did with that Murphy Brown post in the group that you never answered. He said that scene in Murphy Brown, and we went, "What? Huh?"
Oh, did you guys respond to that? I got no.
Technology, yo.
Damn it.
Tell me about BoJack.
Holy
the
shit!
Hillary Clinton scene is what I was talking about.
This show is one of the, and it sounds ridiculous to say, but it's one of the smartest written shows on TV.
Oh, hands down, just from obviously previous seasons.
Usually there is one episode per season where you're just like, holy shit. Like it hits, you know what I mean? It gets the feels, slaps. Or it's because it slaps so hard, but with a gentle touch, you know. Like it's one that you like, you'll never forget because you want to remember it, you know, that kind of slap. You feel me, Josh?
Sure.
You feel me, Coach? Come on, Coach, get in here, Coach.
I do, champ.
Okay, so it deals with some emotional things during the course of the year, and don't want to get into specifics because it will spoil. That is topical, but it is also incredibly well thought out and written. And every time that you see something like that, you also see, you know, somebody on the sidewalk doing the worm that's an actual worm. Or, you know, a mosquito at a dinner party that is walking around with a plate of food, and then he stops and he turns around and he looks up at this bug zapper and he just starts like leaning up that way, and then it cuts to something else and you're bzz. I mean, it's super subtle and it's silly and it makes you laugh, but then something incredibly thought-provoking and poignant happens where you're just like, God almighty. Sometimes you have to stop it when it's rolling the credits and just like, man.
Yeah, that show gets real dark sometimes. I've watched the first like 4 episodes of the season. It gets real dark sometimes. That actress that he's like sleeping with.
Yeah.
Man, like that scene where
she's singing?
Yeah, dude. You're like, oh shit, like this did not
me,
go how I thought.
To me, that was nothing like the entire Diane episode where she's like traveling the world.
Man,
that was brutal at times.
It was brutal, but also there's one line where BoJack asks if she got her neck lengthened because she cuts her hair real short.
Yeah,
which is like whatever. Like it's funny, but it's not like hilarious. And then like a few scenes later, just long enough that you've forgotten about that joke, Todd rolls in and just goes, "Hey Diane, nice neck," and walks off. And I fucking broke.
Todd is the best character on the show.
All the asexual stuff.
So
say what?
Is that the dog?
Funny. No,
that's Mr. Peanut Butter.
That's right.
Todd is Aaron Paul's character. He's the actual human with the beanie, the basically homeless guy.
Gotcha.
He's not by the end of this episode, and he invents something that is up for best new character.
Oh, I'm excited.
You should be.
You pointed it out, and I guess I've never really realized it, or at least like put my finger on it. I think what makes the show like so good is that it does all this dark stuff, but then like there's always some amount of ridiculousness happening somewhere. Just like the very nature of the show, that it's like this guy is a walking, talking horse.
Yeah.
Like that alone just makes it like on its surface kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for pointing that out, because I never really, I mean, obviously I always knew that, but like didn't
It is
realize
usually
it, if that
the
makes
guise
sense.
of something ridiculous to say silly things at times, but some important things at times as well.
Some very important things, I would argue. Like this,
Man,
it tackles some serious subjects.
I can't wait till you get to episode 11.
It's
man.
the next thing I'm finishing. I'm not watching outside of Chicago shows,
Episode
which
6.
wait for no one.
Episode 6 has a slightly higher rating on IMDb. It's like a 9.6, and 11 is like a 9.4 or something like that. But they're easily two of the top. I would put those two with the dementia as my top 3, even over the aquatic episode.
Man, that episode's so good.
It
See, I
is.
think I have the aquatic episode a little bit over dementia, but I need to figure out the actual names of those episodes. But anyway, anything else you want to add about BoJack?
No, I'll spoil it if I do.
Fair enough.
We'll come
I'm
back to it.
happy to talk about that again in 2 weeks if you want.
All right. Buckle up, Josh.
It's fine.
You should
All right.
watch episode 6, though. I
I'm
think
gonna
you would
give it
like
And
a
it.
that is
Because it stands alone, turns out.
1 hour and 45 minutes later, all
Like
the
a
television
cheese.
we watched in the last
All
3 weeks.
right.
So let's spend about 10 minutes on movies and then call it a night.
Good luck.
I think we can make it. Let's start with one I think just Josh has seen, A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
Lady
So,
Gaga,
good.
you.
Looks good, man.
man, so I mentioned this to you when we were standing in line for concessions at Venom, which we'll talk about here in a second. But like, one of my least favorite things in my life is when I have seen a movie that just sticks in my head that I've got nobody to talk to about.
I intend to go see that movie by Sunday.
Full disclosure, I'm fairly certain this is my actual, not just the best, but my favorite movie I've watched this year.
That's impressive.
Jesus.
Like, so it's emotionally engaging and devastating and endearing. It is one of the best directorial debuts I've ever seen in a movie. It's got two of the better performances I've seen in years. Like, there's just something about this movie. This is something that's been remade. Literally, this is the fourth time this movie has existed from the 30s on. It goes to places that I was not expecting it to go to, so much so that, like, when I left this movie, I drove home and, like, two things happened. I immediately had to look up whether or not the same subjects were broached in the previous versions of this show, because some of the stuff you wouldn't necessarily expect a movie from the 30s.
Yeah.
To,
you should still leave that as vague.
Yeah, I'm not saying it
Okay.
anymore. And then also had to just sit on my couch at 1 o'clock in the morning with a glass of whiskey. Like, I literally didn't have the TV on or anything. I just sat there with a drink in my hand and just thought about the movie for like half an hour.
That's a tale of a great movie.
Like, so without getting into spoilers, the opening scene, I texted you guys really briefly in the theater, but like the way that it is directed, like, so Bradley Cooper is a country, like a country rock musician, essentially, like, you know, Southern rock superstar in a way, and the opening scene is him performing on stage, and he's very clearly a strung out character. He is like popping pills and drinking. This is all within the first like 10 seconds of the movie, right? Before he actually goes on stage. And then the way that that particular scene is directed, it's so frenetic and fast paced, and there's camera blur all over the place, and it's focusing specifically on his hands, but you can't really tell what's going on. Like, it very much is the embodiment of the mindset of that character in an incredible way.
Interesting.
It immediately struck me as like, man, this guy knows what he's doing besides just putting a good story to celluloid. Like, he is directing this movie more than I probably expected.
Bradley Cooper's a talented motherfucker.
He really, really is. In my opinion, like, I know there's a lot of movies to come still, but he is easily my front runner for Best Actor. Lady Gaga is amazing.
Yeah.
Sam Elliott is fantastic in
Of
this
course
movie.
he is.
Heard a lot of buzz about that guy.
What's that?
A lot of buzz about that guy.
Yeah, man. He's only in it for like a short amount of time overall.
He also
in
told me
in the
that Winn
movie.
Dixie was the beef people.
Okay. But man, like, this is the movie I've thought about the most since leaving theaters. Like, aside from like, so the movie I've watched most this year is Ready Player One, and it's still probably my number one in terms of like dumb fun enjoyment, even over Avengers. But this has been like, this is that movie that I will go to bat for in our awards, barring like The First Man being what I think it has the potential to be, right? Because
Sure.
Damien Chazelle is like one of my favorite working directors, but
As he should be.
I want everybody to see this movie. I want to be able to talk to this movie, like to everybody about this movie.
Yeah. My intention is to go Friday night and see this. So.
Okay. Like, I don't ever want to see it again, but I absolutely want to see it right now.
Oh, man. Things like that have not been said since 12 Years a Slave.
It doesn't hit on quite the same, like, I hate that I'm white level as,
Sure.
as 12 Years a
Well,
Slave.
nothing fucking does.
But no, like, the
I
movie is
still
just,
feel bad.
in my opinion, like, incredible and phenomenal are like the
Poor
two
guy.
words that I would say
Man.
about this.
Also, that it kind of makes me like I'm real excited for trips to Knoxville It's a bummer Evan's
Yeah,
not going to
right?
go, but man, I'm excited for that type of movie to start coming
I'm
out.
definitely in as long as I'm not working during
Oh man,
those days.
I need to
And I think
get my cry on in a small theater in Knoxville.
Oh, dude, I wept in this movie, like openly with a woman chomping on popcorn 2 seats away from me. I couldn't help it.
I'm looking for something to dethrone Room.
Also, fuck you, Boone, for backing out. It was so sad.
He's
twice.
known to do that.
I know. Frosted Flakes over there.
He's
do we
got
need to
more
talk
flakes
about
than
Assassination
Kellogg's.
Nation?
Yes. Not a lot, but we have to talk about Assassination Nation.
Go ahead.
Man, what the so this movie is both exactly what I expected it to be and nothing like I expected it to be.
There's no way that people could expect that.
This movie is
If you saw the end credits coming, you are a fucking piece of shit, or you need to play the lottery.
full disclosure, spoilers for Assassination Nation.
At least for the credits.
Yeah.
We'll get into those later.
Yeah,
go ahead and
okay.
talk
As
about
much
it.
as you want.
So, Assassination Nation, which I kind of thought had like potential purge qualities based on the original trailer that we saw. This is that movie that Trey, you were super intrigued by the trailers with. There was like people with like American masks on, and like it was like trigger warning and lists like 15 things about like. You remember that?
Yeah.
So
Maybe
this
I
movie,
don't want you to tell me about this.
huh?
No,
No.
Okay, go ahead.
This movie is about 4 high school girls. Okay, 3 high school girls and their
I think
pre-op trans, I
Right.
believe, 4th. So I don't know the nomenclature for it.
I'm just confused about what you said.
pre-op.
Yeah, pre-op transsexual.
Okay.
So
The fourth part, I guess.
yeah.
You're saying the
So
fourth person
there's
is...
there's 3 girls and then
Okay,
there's
and then
the
a-
4,
okay.
yeah, again, trying to be respectful
No,
here.
no,
but,
you're fine, you're fine.
they're in high school. They do what high school girls do, which is live on social media and act a little bit more adult than they probably should.
Right.
And they live in this small town of Salem. And basically, what starts to happen is it starts with the mayor of the town gets hacked. He is a conservative, a Republican who runs on like the family values, and of course, he is hacked, and his pictures revealed that he is,
Cross-dresser.
cross-dressing and very much in a homosexual relationship and everything else. And within the first 10 minutes, he starts to hold a press conference, and the entire town is like it's actually well shot in my opinion. Like it follows him from behind the stage. He comes out on the stage. It's all filmed from the back perspective of him. You can't see anybody yelling at him, but you can hear it. You can see stuff like being thrown at him or whatever, and he tries to
That's
get
cool.
everybody's attention and then blows his brains out.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah, the next is the principal of the school gets hacked, and he gets a real bad rap. The only thing that happens within his pictures is he had his daughter who was in the bathtub. She's 6 years old, so maybe a little older than you would expect for those pictures. But of course, everybody claims pedophile and forces him to resign.
He doesn't resign though.
He doesn't resign. They expect him to, and he forces
It's the
them to
same
fire him.
scene though. It's the exact same
Yeah,
scene.
shot
It
the
follow-
same way, only from the front perspective this time. So like you see him addressing the people, but you still can't see the.
It's the
people
guy
that
from.
are
It's the
in.
black dude from Fear the Walking Dead, the good actor in that show.
Okay.
And then
He does a good job.
all fucking hell breaks loose. Everybody gets hacked. The entire town gets their information from the cloud leaked, and it essentially turns into blaming one of the 4 girls and
The girl who's
town-
having a relationship with Joel McHale.
Well, not an actual relationship with Joel
Oh, I'm
McHale.
out on this movie already.
Yeah, that's the thing. But Joel McHale is like she babysat for them, and they started like conversing. She's also dating Bill Skarsgård. So
I'm back in.
who's a fucking asshole in this movie?
He's also barely in
He
it.
is.
Oh, okay, I'm back out.
He's in it enough to sexually assault his girlfriend.
Yes,
All right, then.
in a horrific way. The last 30 minutes of this movie turns into the entire town going apeshit, wearing crazy masks and attempting to murder 4 teenage girls into like literally a shootout in the middle of this town. It's a very blatant allegory for the Salem witch trials, as Chuck pointed out. Like it's the Scarlet Letter, but on 1,000 degrees. Like it's insanity, but it's not at all good.
Man, there are so many different voices in this. It changes like so many times. Like the first hour of this movie had a very definitive theme. It was shot consistently. It had a very consistent message. There are some really awful things that happen to some of these people that make you like feel uncomfortable, like really uncomfortable.
Very much so.
And then like it just goes into some sort of weird
It's like
spaghetti
it's like a
western
scene out of
kind
Kill
of,
Bill. Exactly. It's
but
a
just
Tarantino
shittily
spaghetti
done, like
western.
if we did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's awful.
That's
There's
pretty
like a
bad.
Trey, it is fucking terrible.
The only thing I liked is
When that cop
the-
got shot in the gut and it
and
just
it
goes,
just exploded all over the cop car.
everybody in the theater laughed. There's like 6 people, but it was loud.
That one dude in the back who was basically Ready Player One girl,
Yeah.
like he was having the most fun. He
that
was loving
was
that cop getting
so
killed.
over the top. And I think that if the entire movie was that way, it might have been a little bit more fun.
It's
or,
very jarring to change from where it was.
and like it would be like watching the Simpsons movie and then the last 20 minutes it turns into Django Unchained.
All right.
The only
Yeah,
aspect
that's a
of,
hell of a
like,
swerve.
the shootout that stood out to me as like not
Bless you.
terrible was I actually really liked the way the escalation of it was filmed in terms of like the 4 of them up in the top floor. There's the mother down below or getting, having a shower or whatever. And like you see the silence of these residents like descending upon the house, and
I mean,
it's
that wasn't
filmed
bad.
all
There
from
were
the outside and like rotating cameras and like people who are trying to break in through this window, and then somebody comes along, so they cut away and they cut back, and the person's not there anymore, but the window's open. Like in my opinion, that particular 2 minutes of film was shot incredibly well. Like
there were parts of
press
this movie
conference
that
scene,
weren't terrible, but
but
overall,
the
fuck this movie.
It was overall not a good movie. It's
At the end of it, it's like all these girls who are banding together. They've all got weapons, et cetera, et cetera. From
it's
Joel
very
McHale,
much-
who gets his throat slit from a razor blade shoved into a bar of soap.
I'm back in.
It's like he's also going to like totally rape her, and he's got a knife on her face. And
Jesus.
anyway,
oh, it's uncomfortable.
there are lots of moments
Sounds
like
like
that. But anyway, at the very end of it is like all these people in masks, and AKA the witch hunting, like crazy Trump lover people. That's what they're building this up to be,
And it's
more or less.
all the daughters of the town.
All the girls, and they're gonna fight. And 3 of them have guns, and all the rest of them are like 12 years old, and the rest of them are all adults that are fully armed, and they just go cut.
Like, so to me,
Oh no.
So to me,
And
that
then-
scene was trying to be like, these are your daughters, right? Like it was very much like, so the reason they are rallied together is because the main girl who's being accused of everything, right? She like Skypes out or live broadcast a video of her basically saying, I didn't do this, I didn't hack anybody, everything else. And like it's a very much like supposed to be empowering, like
Gotcha.
girl power speech, right? And so all the daughters are watching it. It's like the end of fucking Truth or Dare in terms of like broadcasting out that information.
Yeah, Truth or
but
Dare.
done worse.
Yeah, well, it's hard to do better.
But
Um,
the credits
yes.
is just a girl, a cheerleader or a color guard girl or whatever, marching through the street with a black marching band behind her, with
A full drum line.
dead bodies and cars on fire, marching through the streets of Salem with no context whatsoever other than just there's this incredible. And what is the song? I still don't know.
I don't know. I don't even want to look it
They're
up. Fuck
playing
that
some
movie.
marching band version, some drumline version of a popular song, but
Okay.
it's like 3.5 minutes of them just marching through this town.
That's the
with
full
dead
credits.
people. Like it's baffling. It's so crazy to me.
That's weird.
It's-
the movie, man.
I kinda
Fuck
wanna
that
watch it.
movie.
It is as
Go
conflicted
ahead.
as I've ever been walking out of a theater.
Go ahead.
All
I
right.
wasn't. It sucked.
Next up, Peppermint.
I like this movie.
This movie was good. It was a solid, like, late 90s, early 2000s action flick.
Yeah, would you have been surprised if this came out in 1994 and it had Jean-Claude Van Damme in it?
No.
Especially because it would have also starred actual Henry Rollins instead of Mexican Henry Rollins, like the main villain was.
Mexi Rollins?
Yeah. He looked like a Mexican Henry Rollins.
I thought he had some Brolin in him.
He had a little bit of Brolin in him. He was like, Josh Rollins.
Rollins.
Jesus Christ.
This movie was entertaining, though.
It was.
It was flat out fun.
Yeah, it was. She was a badass in
She
it,
murdered
Jennifer
the fuck
Garner.
out of some people.
She did murder some folks. It had good action.
Started
Like-
a little slow.
Yeah, but story was like solid enough to like make you feel like you kind of gave a shit. Like,
Lesser Sam Rockwell wound up being bad.
yeah,
The dude from the newsroom.
Sure.
yeah.
I stand by my
That's where I
statement.
know that guy from.
Yeah, he was is Jim Gallagher, John Gallagher,
Jim
is the actor's
Gaffigan.
name?
Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, Jim Gaffigan. You're right. It was Jim Gaffigan.
I believe he
But-
just goes by Gallagher. He's the guy that smashes the
Oh,
Guitar.
watermelon.
Smashes
Yeah,
watermelons.
that's why he
Yeah,
had the tarp the whole time.
That is
Yeah.
true. The guy who plays number 2 in season 9 of Scrubs is
Who does he work for, though?
you know, he's the shitty lawyer for the cop. Damn it!
There's no way you meant to do that.
I did. I did not.
Oh, fuck. That could not have worked out better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like we need to go too deep into Peppermint. That's a movie that everyone should Redbox, though.
That's a great Redbox movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be on a big screen. If you got Movie Pass or A-List, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it's in theaters animore.
It might be.
Maybe, but I mean, either way, everyone should watch that movie. I can get like not going opening weekend or whatever.
yeah.
But man, I miss movies like that.
Just
Yeah, it was-
turn
They're
off
not
your
huge,
brain.
big
just
budget,
a,
whatever,
just
but
to
they're
turn
well
off your
made.
brain. Just let them go to
Yeah.
town. There's some gross stuff with legs breaking and shit.
I feel like there's an award that we have for these kinds of movies. Like it's absolutely like it's not bad. It's not going to be in our top 10.
It's the Ballantines, right?
It is exactly the
Yeah.
Ballantines.
This is
This
a
is
good
a-
nomination for the Ballantines.
It is.
Let me see if
If
got
not,
that.
I think the winner so far this year. And then last, and maybe least, I don't know. Venom. We saw this weekend.
Man, I love Kamikaze as an album, but there are 2 songs that are unbearable on Eminem's new album, and one of them is this one. It is awful, and the other one is the Jesse Reyes song. But Venom was
I can't not do it anymore.
equal parts exactly as bad as I expected, but 10 times more fun.
So going into this, there was all these critics that were basically comparing it to things like Ben Affleck's Daredevil,
Catwoman,
Halle
the original
Berry's
Fantastic
Catwoman.
Four, like a 10-year-old comic book movie, but a bad one.
And this is, I think the first thing I said to Chuck when the movie ended was that this is a pretty solid comic book movie if one has not seen a comic book movie since like 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
Like pre-MCU.
Yeah, pre-Iron Man.
It's not awful. It's got okay
Moments.
acting. It's got okay action. It's got some good moments. The CG is good, but definitely not great.
No.
I would not call it good necessarily. It's
it's-
passable.
It's serviceable, sure.
There's a reason
that's
why a
kinda
lot
what
of it's
this
shot
movie
in the
is.
dark.
Yes.
This
Yeah, the movie
This
is
serviceable is how I would describe this movie.
I've described this movie as the most 5 out of 10 ever. Like it is not horrendous.
Yeah,
but it
nothing
is
like pissed
certainly
me
nothing
off.
that I would call good.
Yeah, like we're kind of like, oh, okay, well, cool. Like Venom Lethal Protector #1 basically just got turned into a movie.
It's a poorly made movie that found the fun in itself. And it's not like so I've liked bad movies, and Evan has called me out on this. I have liked movies that are so bad they are good, but it wasn't like they were
No,
leaning-
this is
yeah.
this is not so bad it's good.
This is
It's just
this
all
is
right.
just an entertaining enough movie because who in this modern age does not enjoy superheroes fighting each other?
Yeah. The villain I had the same issue with that I did with Logan. My only complaint from that movie.
It's
just
a problem with, and you're gonna fight me on this, but the MCU origin movies, like the first run of these characters is almost always the bad guy is the same but bad version of the hero.
Yeah.
So
Loki.
Caecilius is the same as Doctor Strange, but he's the bad.
That's
version.
that one for sure. Yeah.
Black Panther and Killmonger are the same.
That one for sure.
Iron Man and
Ironmonger.
Ironmonger are the same. One is bigger, but like it is a well-known,
Yeah.
like it is a trope
Doctor Strange
of the
doesn't.
MCU
Yeah, it
movies.
doesn't get me as much as those other two for
Only
sure.
because Dormammu exists, but Caecilius is still he's
And then
a sorcerer.
I guess I can see the point in Loki in that it's an Asgardian, but
No. I
Loki
was saying
is actually an
no,
example
that's
against it.
yes, that
Okay.
was my argument.
Abomination and Hulk.
yeah,
Obama.
Spider-Man didn't do it.
Right.
Luckily,
Spider-Man did not do it, and that's also why. But like, if you look at the people who are considered top-tier Marvel villains, it's Loki and it's Vulture And yes, people throw Killmonger in there, but that's because Michael B. Jordan was so good in that role.
Yeah.
But a lot of those, and this just does the same thing. Riot is Venom. He
Yeah.
also only exists in 5 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
Venom.
Right, it doesn't
is
sound as
kind
good.
of-
Right. No, it's
Yeah,
you gotta,
you couldn't do that.
Get him.
Although if anybody could, it would be Eminem.
Right,
But yeah, like
he couldn't rap.
Venom
about
is
it, right?
almost the villain of this movie for 90% of the time.
Yeah. Which makes sense given the character.
It's still fun. Lane had a blast. Trey
Man,
had a
Lane.
blast.
Yeah.
Loved that movie.
Yeah, traded too.
It made $30 million over its projections.
That's
and
what
its
surprised me,
projections
given
jumped
the-
$20 million in the week.
It also made me jump Evan $20 million in fantasy movie leagues. So
Suck it.
nailed
suck
it.
it. Dude, you were so far behind.
Yeah, it's bad.
No one's
You were like
behind me.
Candlebox. You were
It's-
left behind.
Yeah,
It's
Candlebox.
bad.
I knew you would say that.
But yeah, Venom is another, like, if someone said, should I go see Venom, I would tell them to Redbox it.
Yeah, I mean, or
It is on the same
how
level as
invested
Peppermint
are
for me.
you in the character?
Even
I
then,
mean, some of the effects on a big screen would be much better than on, a 50.
I almost feel like it would hide some of the bad effects if you watched it on.
I mean, some of it was not good, but some of it was fine.
Michelle Williams went on record as saying some of
She
the
was
days,
terrible in that movie.
She was. She also went on record as saying some of the days on Venom are some of the hardest days she's ever had on a movie set ever.
Yeah, it's just
In terms
real
of-
tough cashing that paycheck for barely acting. God,
I also hated her character.
she was awful.
But
It
I
was
loved
dumb.
her
Like, are you
boyfriend.
kidding me?
Jenny
Like,
Slate
one
was
thing?
also terrible. That guy's on Veep, by the way.
Is he?
And his name is
Yeah.
also Dan.
Have I told you I've started watching Veep?
No,
I've almost finished the first season.
Veep is wonderful.
It's my like random. I need something to watch. Brittany's asleep, and everything that's left to watch is shows I watch with her.
You have seen
show.
nothing.
Oh, I'm
that
sure.
show hits its stride like right around the end of season 2, beginning of season 3. It's so fucking
And I already
good.
like.
Dan
fucking
is a
adore it.
master. He's masterful. Anyway, how many the writing is so fucking terrible in this movie.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is easily the worst part.
Yes.
How many times can different people say "have a nice life"? 4 apparently, and an hour and 40. That's for fuck's sake.
I also don't like Riz Ahmed.
Really?
I thought he was fine. He didn't have good dialogue.
I'm tired
Yeah,
of seeing
he did
him
what
in
he-
this sniveling villain role, which I feel like he's done more than once recently. I don't get the love for that guy.
Also, Riz Ahmed sounds like RZA is going to be like going to med school and have a TV show.
Man, I would go to Riz Ahmed. Are you kidding me? Does Jizza also teach there? Ghostface Killer? Holy shit, Wu-Tang You sounds like my kind of...
Ghostface Killer's in the morgue.
Oh, man. I would absolutely fucking...
If that was a TV show, I'd watch it.
Oh, man. Law taught by ODB? I want to go to Wu-Tang You.
Thanks for the input, Trey. You motherfucker.
He's looking up stuff.
I was.
Is
I was
it
trying to
Ri- is
remember
it
the name of
Riz
that
Ahmed?
show that he was in that I loved him in, which is The Night of.
Night of, yeah.
Holy fuck, that show is so good.
If it's not Riz Ahmed, I don't care what it is.
But like, yeah, the movie was still fun. They did a
Yeah.
tease during the credits.
Man. Oh, you're talking about the spoilers for the end of Venom. Yeah, they tease Carnage there at the end.
And they hit the
Super weird casting choice to me.
They hit the tease with a fucking sledgehammer.
I
Yeah.
didn't like it. I didn't like that
I like the
whole
idea that
scene.
Carnage could show up. I did. Yeah, I agree. I didn't like the execution.
When I get
The
out
best-
of here, there's gonna be
Carnage. Yeah,
So
it's
he
bad.
paused. There's going to be carnage.
And I don't. Yeah,
Spoilers.
I love
already
Woody
know my
Harrelson,
future
but
symbiote name. Like,
I
fucking
am.
what?
Yeah, I'm fucking good on him being Cletus
Cletus.
Cassidy though.
Holy shit. The Spider-Verse. I'm ready.
Dude, that was
Oh,
the best
man.
part of that whole experience was getting to see
Absolutely
the end of the
it was.
Spider-Verse stuff. Holy shit, I'm excited for that movie. December
dope,
is
man.
fucking packed, man.
Dude, the rest of
that's
this
in
year
December too.
for movies,
Yeah.
TV, and video games are stupid.
Yep.
No, we got like one more week before it gets
And then it
crazy.
gets stupid.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you weren't counting this upcoming week. I see what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
All right,
There's still something that comes out this week I want to see.
we watched a lot. Enough that we talked for over 2 hours about it.
You did.
I watched a lot. Yes, I did.
I
You
did.
talked a lot. I was sat over here. You wouldn't let me say anything. Fucker.
On that note,
Mm-hmm.
have a good night, everybody.
Riz Ahmed. Now accepting applications.